So you got a comment here from Andre Lefay Linard. Sir, he's been knighted by the Queen this week. Well done there, Andre. And he says, aha, I'm still early. So that's a notification there, Egil, to let you know we're live streaming.
Okay. Well, hello everybody. Sorry we're a bit late. I did tell everyone it was 3 o'clock, but obviously it's not that. So big apologies if you've been kept waiting. But please get in contact with us later on. Andre, that's our first commenter. Apparently you've just got knighted, so well done. Congratulations. If you want to tell us the details about it.
What excellent people we have on the channel.
Yeah, well, you know, what can I say? I've got my piece of paper, so I'm going to have to refer to it. There's a lot we've got to get through as well. So, it says here, what is live streaming? Well, it's me sitting here talking about various topics or that you people have sent in comments. We can talk about various other topics, you know, as an infill as time progresses. So, okay. Have we got any more comments, Bragi?
Well, I'll just pass you over the... not yet.
Okay, that's no problem.
But I can give you some information. We've got 2 people watching.
Very good it is, I think.
Indeed.
Yes, the force is strong.
And I'll pass you the modern tablet device in a minute.
Right.
Oh, we've got another sub. 1582.
Nice one. Thank you very much, whoever that is.
Yesterday, I put out a video from you yesterday called Jobs Breaches.
All right.
And then I think last week we had a very good video from you called Scissors and Knife, about the husband and wife who argue over a pair of knife or a pair of scissors. Well, you don't call it a pair of knives, though.
A knife and a pair of scissors. Okay, so what are we doing today? Well, we've got various topics. We've got mental health, men's mental health, the comments, Viking men, Viking women, what stressed them. Ladies, let's not forget them. Exercise, good grief. Who writes this stuff? Exercise, positive.
Extra fries.
Positive, pain of mine. Reasons to make you unhappy, that we all have. Dating, that's Bragi's thing.
Woof.
Yeah, you know, he's a bit of a love god. I mean, I try to be, but people just throw stones and blamonge at me. Men not talking about things. I mean, I will be covering male impotence. You're looking at a victim of it here. I'm not afraid to talk about that. Not talking about weight and image. Well, yeah, okay. Doctors, drink and rugs, whatever that means. Okay, I have a comment here. Eric of Maniac says, good day, my Viking brothers. Okay, yeah. Hi there, Eric.
Eric.
Eric. Oh,
It's not Eric.
Well, it's very small writing, so apologies. But Eric, man of many, I'll just call you of many axes. That makes life easier. From Broggy and myself, hi. Hope everything's well. And, you know, these are other things that we're going to cover. It does matter how you feel. You know, I've said it before in my last live stream. If you're feeling pretty bad or unsafe, tell somebody. We're not doctors, we're not psychiatrists, but we do care about our clientele, and we want you to be safe in your own home, and we want you to be happy. So, as I say, mental health, people forget about it, that we're in lockdown. I mean, I'll be honest with you, the lockdown hasn't really affected me that much, in as much as when you're unemployed, and at my age you don't go looking for jobs, you tend to sit at home unless you've got money, and then you go out shopping. So, nothing much there to write home about. I like to look on it as that I'm serving an apprenticeship. So, that's there. Men's mental health. Well, we will be covering this. I can understand how people feel at a loss. You're used to going out every day going to work, the men's role, you know, the breadwinner and all that. Although women, of course, are in the workplace. But you have friends who are in the workplace, colleagues, whatever. But what happens there? Well, you lose contact with them. And also you're wondering how your firm's getting on and all that sort of thing. I just had something dropped at my feet. But anyway, that being said, you know, if you do feel bad, text somebody. Say, look, I'm not feeling right. We're not doctors, we're not psychiatrists, but I'm sure there are doctors and psychiatrists as our clientele who would only be too glad. There'll certainly be someone to recommend you speak to. But the main thing is speak to them, because I don't want people to become mentally disturbed or to become violent because they're frustrated, they're angry or whatever. Remember, there's no excuse whatsoever for violence, none whatsoever, right? And once is once too much, and we have to be careful. I know it's frustrating, but you just got to man up. Be a man. Real men don't have violent tendencies towards people. They listen and they understand, or try to understand. That's my message for you today. We've got to read some comments. Well, we haven't got any at the moment. Sir Andre, you're a bang on time, mate. Don't worry about it.
Just one thing you may not be aware of, Egil, when you do a live stream, is just ask people to go and share the live stream. Because by asking them to share the live stream on different platforms, it will help people to be aware that you're live on camera, and we'll get us more potential new subs and viewers. So just want to remember that one every now and again. Just say, don't forget, folks, go and share the old live stream for us.
Did you hear all that? Well, if not, I'll repeat it.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Try and share the live stream that we do. Spread the word, because the messages we give, we want to give to, it sounds pompous, but we want to give it to the world. And also, let's face it, we want to up our subs and comments. So it's up to you, people out there as well as us. Tell your friends, tell their friends, blah, 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 blah. The more people that know, the better it is for everyone.
And that is a box for unwrapping on camera. If you get short of things to talk about, just be careful if you use a knife.
Okay, well, again, it's a parcel. It's what we call a stage filler. I have no idea what's in it. But as Bragi said quite rightly, be careful if you're using a knife. Well, okay, let's not forget exercise. Bragi's sitting there looking quite happy, laying back, flashing his crutch.
If it collapses now, I'll laugh.
If it collapses, I definitely will laugh.
That's my David Beckham pose.
Oh, right, oh dear. Okay, well, one thing you can do, that we all can do, and that is to exercise. Thank you. Hand me my rhythm stick. Doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. I believe there was a chap on who's been doing an exercise thing for the last 80 days, and he's got something like 8 million viewers.
So Tom.
I don't know what his name is. He got long hair, young
No,
chap.
that was another chap.
Yeah.
But let's not forget Sir Tom.
Sir Tom again, yeah. Well done, sir. As an ex-soldier myself, I admire what you've done. Thank you very much. So we've got that. And Bragi's got something in the back there, looking very suspicious.
That's for your musical interlude. It's a new feature.
Oh my goodness. I can't play that. I can play a guitar a bit. Hang on, let's have a go. That ain't in tune.
I know it's not in tune.
How you tune it?
I've got a tuner now. You can take it back home with you one day.
Oh, great.
Or play with it.
We've also got a string missing.
It's meant to have 6 strings actually. That's to have 9, but 9's too many.
Don't even know how you get a note because you can't stop it. Right, well, I think Jimi Hendrix is...
On that note, I think we'll leave that.
Yeah, very nice though. Maybe you've got people out there who can play these. It'd be nice to hear from you. How you tune it, I have no idea. I assume it would be a Pythagoras type tuning. Oh, he's got a tuning key. Every egg a bird. But, oh, yeah, so Andre is... I have arrived. Good afternoon, brothers. Hail, brother Eric, and your many axes, question mark. Are we all well? Well, I'm tickety-boo and a half, actually. I don't know about you guys. Bragi, are you all right?
Oh, I'm fantastic, thanks.
Yep.
A bit tired.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not dressed as a Viking at the moment, hint, hint, as am I. But, yeah, I mean, this is the point. Positive mental attitude. If you're bored and you're on lockdown, find something to do.
Egil Hendrix.
Yeah, that's me.
You're rocking it, man.
Yeah, I wished I was Egil Hendrix. And the thing is, I took up playing the guitar again after 40 years. Believe it or not, I used to be in bands, amateur bands. But it's something to do. And also, there are plenty of books. Don't forget them. Have a read of those. And there are loads of people out there on the internet, as I say, who are willing to entertain you and educate you. I mean, this is what we're hoping to do, but more educate and entertain than sort of get you leaping about. Yeah, Egil Hendrix in the house. Well, yeah, I mean, he was one of my great guitar heroes. Eric Clapton, early Eric Clapton, up to Derek and the Dominoes. Of course, the fabulous Jimi Hendrix. Carlos Santana is another one. Jeff Beck, Peter Green, before someone got at him. My favourite band is Jethro Tull. I had the pleasure of seeing them on numerous occasions. They even came here to Derby, which was nice to see. Maybe, I mean, the weird thing is, I know in my head what to do, but my fingers are slowed up. Wow, I thought having not played the guitar in 5 years meant I was finished. That's from Sandre. No, you're not finished. The only time you're finished is when you're in that box and you can smell burning. Then you can say, give up. And I'm a believer in you're as old as you feel. It was something my late mother said to me once. She was 80, she died at 85, and she was 82, and she said, you know, Simon, I may be 82, but I still feel like I'm 16. And I know exactly what she means. If you want to get back into playing again, just got to put the time in, get those fingers moving, and it's surprising how quickly they come back. I mean, I used to be semi-professional, going around playing the clubs and pubs. I never got to the stage I wanted to. Perhaps I should have put more work in, whatever. But I really enjoyed it. And what I say to all you old rockers out there, go for it. Another comment here from Sir Andre. I should have said, Eric, how are you? Well, I'm actually Egil, but I'm fine. And Bragi is as well. I don't know, he's disappeared for the moment. But I mean, I enjoy playing the music. I had to relearn even how to tune manually my guitar. I was lucky enough, thanks to Rob and Pete, thanks Rob and Pete, they gave me a guitar and amp for my retirement present. I retire in November the 7th to be precise, but it was great. And yeah, have a go, you know, if you've never picked a guitar up, have a go. You never know how good you could be. And it's not a matter of being able to play Voodoo Child note for note or Stairway to Heaven. It's playing tunes, maybe you can make your own up. What's wrong with that? That's how these people became superstars. So have a go. You never know. I'm a great believer in, even if you have a go and think, well, that was a load of rubbish, you can at least say, well, I had a go. So, music. There's always CDs for people of my age, tapes to listen to, or records, vinyl. And yeah, why not? That's what it's there for. It's to enjoy, to relax. You know, maybe if you've got pals, you can text and say, what do you reckon to this tune? And why do you like it? You're setting a dialogue up and you're not alone. And I'm a big believer in telling people how you feel. You've got to let people know how you feel. Don't hide away, because, you know, that doesn't do you any good whatsoever. You've got to be comfortable and safe in your own home. And I keep going there and I'll keep saying it. You've got to keep in there and you've got to let people know. So back to my trusty piece of paper. Where do we get to? Ladies, not exercise. Positivity. List reasons to make you happy. And data. Well, be glad that you're alive and that you are obeying the restrictions. Don't think of the negative things. Think of positive things. So many people say, oh, well, I don't like it. I like it because it gives me time to think. It's saving wear and tear on my clothing. If I'm not going out, I just wear the underpants and socks and my bathrobe, or I'll put a shirt on and sit and watch telly, read a book, have a go, practice my guitar, do runes, read about topics that we're going to cover. At the moment I'm reading an excellent book by my ex-tutor, Martin Carver, about Sutton Hoo. It's called Sutton Hoo Burial Place of Kings, and I had the joy of working there. Great fun. And I think Andre, yes, here we go, Andre. My music channel is Tonga 9691. Tonga, if anyone's interested. Well, let's pass that on. It's a very positive thing, and yeah, subscribe to it, because you know it's entertaining and it's a way of getting out. If you've got a garden, unfortunately I don't, get out there, plant some veggies, you know, do some digging. Again, that's good exercise and you've got something back from it. Grow stuff in pots. I've got garlic in pots at the moment, one of which is doing fine, the other one's just sitting there looking at me. Doesn't matter, just have a go, and this is it. And as I say, Andre has got his music channel. I'll repeat it again. It is Tonga 9691 Tonga. If anyone's interested, and I know I shall be, and Bragi I'm sure will be looking at it. Maybe you could send in your request. I don't know if it's that kind of music channel. If you have the skill of playing a guitar and a computer, maybe put out some lessons for people, just to inspire them and have a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. Bragi's coming back in here because the next topic we're covering is dating. Well, for me to cover dating is a little bit funny, but anyway, let me repeat again. Sandre's music channel, which is 9691 Tonga. So I don't know what kind of music, but if you want to find out, remember, get yourself in there. So
Just cough the battery mug.
Sorry?
Cough the battery mug.
Okay, hang on a minute. I'm now going to pass the mug, put the stick down on the floor and pass my cold coffee. Just stick it in the microwave, it'll be alright.
Alright, I will do then.
Coffee's expensive.
I'll put some more coffee in it first time.
See, I'm being green there. Green is a green thing. Now, any more comments from people would be well worth listening to. I'm going to talk to you now, before Bragi comes back, about something that men find very difficult to talk about and hard to live with, and that is erectile dysfunction. I suffer from it. I'm type 2 diabetic. I lost a relationship because of it. And I have to tell you, talk to somebody. I went and saw a doctor. You have to go through a prostate examination and you get the tablets. I made a joke of it. I said, thank you for the drugs and the sex. The doctor threw this glove at the wall in disgust. I guess he'd been working late. But my point is this. You don't necessarily, it serves two purposes. One, if you're diabetic, you need a tablet called Levitra. If you're not, it's worth it. Checks your prostate to make sure you haven't got prostate cancer, which is a killer. And secondly, you can buy Viagra over the counter in England now, so there's no excuse. And people say, oh, you feel embarrassed? Well, no. Why should I? It's an illness. If I break my arm, I go and see a doctor. If I'm not feeling right in the head, I see a psychiatrist. If things aren't working downstairs, you see somebody who knows what they're talking about, and that's a doctor. When you think what women go through on a basic examination and the things that they have to go through, which could be seen as humiliating, having a finger stuck up where the sun don't shine is nothing. And I look at it this way. Ladies have a tablet to stop pregnancy. I have a tablet to make people pregnant. Not that I do. But the point is, don't suffer in silence. And this can be partly a cause for domestic violence. I know what it's like. You're in bed with a lovely woman, you have all the feelings and emotions, and you can't do a thing about it. Yeah? So do something about it. Go and see a doctor. You have to be positive on this. And yeah, I have to say though that Viagra and Levitra for men. I'm sure there are female fertility things. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. I can only tell you from what I've experienced. And like I say, there's nothing at all to be ashamed of. Sometimes nature gives you a curved ball, so you have to go with the flow. Better to have them and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah. And I don't, there's nothing at all to be ashamed of. Just go there. So that's me on my rant. If anyone's interested, again, St Andre, a wide range followed by blood thinners play havoc regarding erectile dysfunction too. Yeah, they do, as does severe alcohol. If you take a lot of alcohol, then you're not going to be very successful. And also, I ain't going to remember much about it. But it is something which people are scared, men are scared that he's not manly, or anything like that. Well, it isn't manly to sit there whining about it and then beating the hell out of your wife because you can't do what you're supposed to do. So there are various reasons for erectile dysfunction, not least diabetes, which as I say, I'm a type 2 sufferer, and it came on all of a sudden. But don't be ashamed. I would rather that I'd kept the relationship than sit there going, no, I'm a man, I don't have fingers put up my bottom. But so anyway,
just don't go on a bike afterwards.
You have to make a joke of it. It is serious. I mean, you could catch prostate cancer in the early stages and that will save your life. And it's a serious thing, and it's a sad thing when you have two people who love each other and can do nothing about it because one of them won't see the doctor. So I have said my piece on that. Perhaps you'd like to send a few comments in as well. As I say blood thinners, beta blockers are another thing I believe that sort of affect these, which is a blood thinner. Yeah. Okay. Now then, done that. Find a friend. Well, yeah. That's not really connected I don't mean it sexually. If you can get a friend sexually, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, we have the internet, we have Facebook, we have various other things. You don't even have to meet. You know, you can talk. It's a safe way of having a talk over the back fence and becoming pals. You can, just by talking to each other, help each other out. And I know that people do get lonely. People get feeling as though they're isolated. And whilst you can text, whilst you can fax, not fax people, that's old fashioned, but I mean, I text people every day, about 15 people, just to make sure they're okay. And I'd rather be thought of as a nuisance than people thinking they're ignored. There's no excuse if you've got a phone and can text, or a computer. I have a computer, but I'm not online until I get my pension, because I can't afford it. I'm going to have some coffee because I'm drying out. Whoa, that nearly went on the carpet. Okay, nice bit of caffeine. And you've got to take pleasure in the things that, you know, everyday things. I enjoy cooking. I look forward to when I get paid the universal credit. It sounds pathetic, and maybe it is, I don't care. You slip into a dream world. I live in a castle on the Rhine, or I've got an underground bunker, or I've got a stately home. Not a one-bedroom flat. It doesn't matter. It gets your head out of it. And I always have a chat. And got a comment on here from Andre. Greetings, Ragnar. I'm glad to see you all talking. And this is it. Talk to each other. You know, maybe you've got problems. You can make friends. I mean, I'm lucky. I talk to people in America, people in Scandinavia, China, Australia, people I've never met and possibly never will, but I can talk to them and they talk to me, and this is what live streaming is all about. Ragnar Bridges, hi there, Egil and Bragi. Nice surprise. Egil, can you speak up a little? I'm sorry, my voice does tend to be a little quiet. I hope that's okay. Let me know. And Finn Wraith saying hi, what's up? Well, we've been having a chat about, of all things, erectile dysfunction. It's something not to be scared of. It's something that needs to be done. Yeah, and Sir Andre says, my world is half reality, half dream, imaginary. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. The mind is a wonderful thing. It's something that people dismiss. Well, no. In your mind, you can be whoever, whatever you want to be. And, oh, we've got some more people here. Sandre, greetings, Finn. Ragnar Bridges, hi there, Sandre. Not been able to comment recently. Been down with a bad back. Well, Ragnar, I hope your back's getting better. You've got to look after him. My pal, who comes on here occasionally, Rob, he suffers from a bad back. And I can tell by the look on his face how painful it is. They need to be looked at. Be careful with it, because, yeah, we don't want anybody to suffer any injury. Another sip of coffee. Here we go. I'll just pop this on the floor. It's all right. We've got a very strawberry pink carpet down here that Bragg is very keen on keeping clean, which I suppose I can't say as I blame him. So we've got some people on. I'm glad to see that you're talking among yourselves as well. Don't be afraid to do that. I mean, Andre there is having a good old chinwag. And for those of you just come on, he has a music channel, which you might be interested in, which is, where is it? It's here. It's around here somewhere. Oh, here we go. It is 96 91 Tonga, and maybe, you know, that's a way of getting in contact with Sir Adrian, and I hope you have a great time. We just got somebody else from Sir Andre, and it's healthy to feed and nurture one's inner child. There's no need for adulthood to kill imagination. People who are too serious-minded grow down. Finn Wraith, where's Braggy? Braggy at the moment, I think he's talking to the carer that he's got for his dad. But I'm with you, Sandre. And childhood, I still am a child in many ways, and I think that's great. If you can't imagine something, then, like you say, you're growing down, not growing up. I love that phrase. Imagination, I mean, here on this channel, for instance, if we had no imagination, I'll be honest, Braggy's the guy who comes out with the ideas. I'm literally just the eye candy. He comes out with the ideas, he sets up the technical bits and things like that. And to be honest with you, I do tend to feel sometimes that I am getting off scot-free. I'm not, because as I say, I've got about 4 hours of this and I've got a 3-mile walk back home again. I'm tired. I'm an old fella getting there. But I like this. I like being able to talk to people around the world. And I think this is a wonderful thing. The internet is so great. To me, it is a novelty. You know, the nearest we got to this sort of thing when I was a teenager was pen pals, and it didn't always go well. But this, I think this is fantastic. Just chatting away. It's like you've got this international fence that you're talking to over, like your next door neighbour. And who knows, some of you might be able to meet up. There's a friend of ours in Canada, Layla, hi, if you're watching. Hope you're all right. I hope you're all right, actually. So, what we got here? We've got another one, a message here from Sir Andre. Great quote I found the other day. The world is full of magical things just waiting for our senses to grow sharper. William Butler Yeats. Yeah, I agree with that. It's another Irish expression. The world is not full of strangers, it's full of friends I've not yet met. And I try, and I know Braggy does, to adopt that attitude regarding this. And this is a wonderful thing that we've got. I mean, you could be next door even, or you could be right across the world. I think it's a wonderful tool that we have, and whoever invented it, thank you very much. Yeah, you know, so we're always happy to hear from you. We're always happy to have your comments. We are doing more live chats. We're trying to get it every Friday, and then we'll also do stuff on Mondays, which is more sort of Braggy and myself. I could see, you know, I mean, Braggy puts in a phenomenal amount of work on this. Yes, it is becoming quite successful, and that's fine, you know. Again, I think Braggy's probably talking to his dad, so, you know, Cyril is, he's got Alzheimer's, so, you know, he's in another room, so to speak. Okay, find a friend. Men's health, not talking, allow, wait, an image. This is something that I find, again, when I was 8 years old, I was 8 stone, and this is in the 60s, and I was put on a diet, and I was made to feel as though I was a freak. Not least by my dear late father, who took a great delight in pointing out the fact that not just I, but other members of our family were overweight. People are overweight for various reasons. They can be emotional, which it was in my case, that I was being bullied by parents, by family, by school, and yeah, I actually did an equation once I was told I was fat, so I ate Mars bars, because Mars bars don't tell you you're fat, they don't judge you, and then of course you get fatter and you're judged on them, and it's a vicious circle. And it's not funny, it really isn't funny. To say children can be cruel, adults can be as well. Some adults seem to think you have carte blanche to be offensive, that it's only a joke. It's not a joke, it's damned offensive, and if you're doing that, stop it. I think we're living in a more sensitive society, but as you've got more availability of food, of sweets, of sweet drinks, well, it's in human nature, you eat. The heaviest I've been is 20 stone. I don't know what that is in kilos. It is, I ended up getting sleep apnea. I got where my knees hurt all the time. I was scared of going downstairs. I was scared of going upstairs. And considering I live in a first floor flat, I had to do something. Well, I have lost weight. I'm still quite a chunky guy, but I'm a big guy, although I'm short. 5'6.5" for those of you who wish to know. And as a result, being on Universal Credit, I've lost over a kilo. I weigh 13 stone in just my spectacles. I don't know, again, that's quite a drop in weight. Another one from Andre. I love your live chats. Been indoors for almost 6 months now. It breaks up the loneliness. Well, yeah, that's one main reason we're doing it, is so that guys like Andre, who are stuck inside, get to say something. Everybody has something to say. Everybody has a talent, and everybody has a right to be heard. I don't care who you are, right? Everyone has a talent. I used to go around schools, and it's amazing how some school children, and I identify with this, are given limits. When I was living at home with my late parents, I was left in no doubt. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you shouldn't do that. That's too much. No. I'm a great believer in if you can think it, you can do it. And if you can think you can travel to the stars, you do that, mate. Good luck to you. Yeah? I really, really love the idea that people can follow their dreams. And if you haven't got a dream, find one. Yeah? And it's like the song says, if you don't have a dream, how are you going to have a dream come true? And happy talking. Yeah, and this is what this is all about, you know. And here we go. Another one, this is from Finrath. Maybe someone should try to make an app for pagans or people with fascination on things like mythology and history to meet up. That would be absolutely fantastic. You really would. And I hope that that's the case. You see, I'm a member of the Odinic Fellowship. I don't see anybody because there's no hearth in Derby, because I think there's only one Odinic person I know, and he lives in Belper, and I haven't seen him since God was a child. But if there are any Odinic Fellowship members out there who want to meet up, please get in contact with this station, and I'll be only too glad to talk to you. I remember my days in York where we had the Green Circle. We used to have fantastic times there. It wasn't all about witches and wands. We used to have social meetings and things like that, and it was a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know there's one in Derby, but it isn't very strongly supported from my memory of it. We've got Roman Biscotti. Hello, dear Egil and Bragi. Boop. Heart. Oh, Canada. I think that's my good friend Layla. Hello, everyone, says Roman Biscotti. Hi. And another one. Please hit that like, folks. Yeah, please do. And it's always glad. I mean, again, I would never have been able to speak to Layla if it wasn't for this. Marvellous. And Finn says, would you meet up with fans of your channel? Oh yes, definitely. Let's hope that the conditions allow us to. But yeah, you know, I don't have transport and Bragi's car's down, but I'm sure we can arrange something. So Andre, that would be great. So many people don't understand what I say about my beliefs. I'd be interested to learn about the Odinic Fellowship. Yes, that's fine. There is a thing explaining it. Tap in Odinic Fellowship and you'll get there. Finwraith, would you meet up if we happen to visit England? Yeah, you know, I mean, that's always there. And Sir Andre, greetings Roman B. Yep, and Roman Biscotti replies, hello Sir Andre. You see, we're talking. You're talking to each other. That's important because it shows that we care, shows that people understand. And as I said, so Andre's saying about so many people don't understand when I say about my beliefs. Everyone should have a belief. Bragi's just walking downstairs with some mugs to wash. Everyone should have a belief and we should respect those beliefs. And I don't care if you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist. We can learn, or even Wiccan, I don't care. There are various branches of Odinic. I started off with the Odinic Rite, which I then changed to the Odinic Fellowship, as a number of people did. It's what suits you, and we should respect a person's religious beliefs. And even if they are against us, some religions are, that's their problem. My problem is I want to get through life. I want to leave the world a better place than when I found it. I think that's the biggest mantra we should have. A friend of mine, she's dead now, a Jewish lady. She taught me so much. She taught me the art of forgiveness, which sounds a little thing, but it isn't. It's a huge thing. And she reminded me a lot of my spirituality. She was very spiritual herself. I do have friends from various religions. I don't care what a person's religion is. I don't care what colour you are. It's your attitude that matters. Yeah? You get decent people in Christianity, you get nutters. And it's the same with paganism. We call them cloak flappers. So anyway, yeah, and here's Braggy. People saying would we meet up with them? And I said yes.
Well, yeah, of course we would. We all have. Yeah, you technically, Egil, you call them channel meets.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, we've got Drauga saying, "Hey guys, and how's it going?"
Going okay.
Roman Biscotti saying, "Hey Drauga. Oh hey Layla." Yeah, it's going rather well actually. I must admit. I'm hearing me stopping.
Tangy, Roman Biscotti.
Yeah, Layla Tangy.
Yeah.
I like Layla because I'm a Clapton fan. I think Layla's a sexy name. Bragg is sitting here in his sweatpants and t-shirt. He's not dressed as a Viking today, but I'm sure if you really want him, he'll appear. He's yawning. That's just heard him there. But it's like I say. Yes, it's nice to hear your comments, but talk among yourselves. And as I say, we have a musical channel with Sir Andre. I keep losing you. And here's one Braggy from Finn Rathers.
Oh yeah.
And he says maybe someone's tried to make an app for pagans or people with a fascination on things like mythology and history to meet up. I've read it before, but Braggy wasn't here then.
Yeah, good idea that was someone.
I'm trying to find this channel. Hang on. Ah, that's why. Here we go.
Walking down the street. Get the corner here. Lots of all the people here, mate. Hey, with the Vikings.
Yeah, Bragg is having a mad moment at the moment. I'm trying to find your channel. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people have the feeling that becoming a pagan is a bit like coming out. And I know what you mean. I lived in York for a time. I was lucky. I never had any problems about coming out because I think I was born a pagan. But there was a couple I knew, and their dad was a lay preacher with the Methodists. And yeah, you know, it's rather difficult to have your dad have his beliefs challenged. Well, I believe you should challenge a person's belief. A great friend of mine from York, a marvellous chap, he said, worship, if your sole idea of religion is to worship a Pepsi Cola can, do it, but do it for the right reason, not because everyone else did. I learnt a lot from him, and yeah, to me that's right. I don't care what your religion is, as long as you're sincere in it. I've said it before, the people I feel sorry for are atheists. You need something more powerful than you to believe in. Otherwise, you have no parameters. I know free expression, that's great, but you've got to have a limit. Otherwise, you know, unpleasant things start happening. Okay. Ragnar Breeches. Egil, I have been using a walking stick, not so much due to my bad back, but I find it very good for leaning on and makes one feel a little more secure. Yet at one time all gentlemen had one. Yeah, I know what you mean. I had a walking cane which I had to sell. Don't be fooled by my rich looking exterior. Church mice are better off than me at the moment. Anyway,
Probably eat better as well.
But having said that, yeah, a stick, it depends. Certain things are called walking sticks in the antique trade, and others are called walking canes, which are more a fashion statement. But yes, I could see how that is.
Yeah, it's a Viking style walking stick.
Bragg is just handing me one. You've got to be pretty tall for that. But
that's from Israel, that is.
It's from Israel, okay.
Shalom.
Shalom. So anyway, yeah, a useful, very useful thing. And yes, gentlemen had them, as did some ladies. Roman biscotti, spanner and 3 hearts. Bless you, darling. I hope everything's all right with you. Drogar, hey there, Andre. And Ragnar Breeches. Braggy only needs black curly hair in his trackies, and he could be a honorary scouser. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I love Liverpool. I have a friend who she lives in Liverpool with her daughter. One of the most talented witches I've ever met, bless her. And one thing that struck me about Liverpool, and those of you who've been there, is the pride that people have in their city. And it's a pride that is tangible. It's a marvellous city. There's some beautiful restaurants. I would love to have gone to Chinatown. It looks just like it does in the pictures. You've got this massive gate. I saw the registry office where John Lennon got married for the first time. And if you get the chance, go on the Wakamaka Splasher. It's a big yellow army dock. And you literally go in at the Royal Docks, down the river, out and round the town. I loved it, and the people there are fantastic. So keep on rocking, Liverpool. You're a fantastic place, full of fantastic people. Okay, and Roman Biscotti. Yes, I'm fabulous, thank you, dear Egil. I hope you are very well as well. Yeah, I'm groovy, baby. I'm actually tickety-boo and a half. I always try to find a positive aspect to things, because you've got to. Life is fun. I'm not going to say you only live once, because in my view you don't. Because I have memories of past lives. But like I say, if you can make the world a better place when you leave it than when you came, then you've done your job as a human being. So enjoy life, and this is it. You know, there are barriers, there are things. This COVID-19 ain't going to last forever, ladies and gentlemen. We've got to follow the rules, stay safe, social distancing. My rucksack, I've got face masks, which I shall use when I got to do the bank on Monday, and I've got to get some shopping done quickly, although it'll probably be Tuesday because I'm doing this. But the point is, it helps you, gives you time to think, time to understand. Don't be selfish. It brings out the best in people, it brings out the worst in people. And I have to say, hand on heart, I don't hate anybody. There are people I prefer not to meet, but that's not the point. Try and, you know, as Ringo Starr says, peace and love. And people laugh at him. I'd rather they laugh at him for that than he be some warmonger. He's not. It strikes me as a really nice guy. And if you're watching Ringo, thanks for the music. So, here we go. We have people chatting, that's good. I hope that, I don't know what time it is, probably people coming in from work. We've got a nice lot of messages, as I say. And that's what it's all about, is people being able to talk. And I'm really happy about that. Yeah, here we go. Here is Andre's, hang on. Here is Andre's music channel. For those of you, it's, I lost it again, I pressed a button and shouldn't have done. I hope you can all hear me. Anyway, well, oh, this annoys me when I do something like this and I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Music channel 9691 Tonga. I'll repeat that before I lose it again. It is 9691 Tonga. Have a look at that and see how it goes. And yeah, you know, it's all there. It's all to do with entertainment and having fun. Yeah, just because we got this doesn't mean to say we should be unhappy. And right, here we are. This is from Ragnar Bridges. I was born there and was born in the same house as my grandmother. My dad was born 200 yards away in the newer house. He inherited the old one. We have a few different types of Scousers. Hey, they're fantastic people. I was honoured. I must admit, I went there and I was wondering, oh, is it like it? And I don't get it. It's had such bad press and they're such warm people. There's a special friend I stayed with. As I say, she's a good pagan witch and I wish her well. But the museum was fantastic and we went to some great restaurants. And I was invited to a party, believe it or not, from people who'd never met me in my life. I hope I would, well, I had a great time, let's put it that way. So thank you, Liverpool. You know, keep on trucking, keep doing what you're doing. It's really great. And as I say, everybody's proud of Liverpool. And I can see why. I went there when it was the Year of Culture. And yeah, fantastic. It really was great. Don't believe the bad publicity. Go there yourself. Liverpool will love to meet you. And hey, so would Derby. We're only a small city, Derby. We've got a great history. And if we do meet up, I can give you the history of Viking Age Derby. I've taken tours around called the Trail of Blood on the Crime and Punishment. And it's the home of the Derby Jail. Tours run by Richard Felix. Some of you may know him from the TV series, and he pops up from time to time. The fact for you, he was my captain when I was in the Territorial Army. But there you go. Territorial Army is like the National Guard. We're a reserve army. But okay, and Finn Roth said, I have friends that dislike Liverpool. Not seriously dislike, but kind of. They say they dislike because of football. I've heard it is partly where their bad image comes from. I mean, I don't follow football at all. We have Derby County, which is nice if they win. You know, if they don't, they don't. But I think to judge a city on its football team is misleading, because the majority of the fans are fine. There's only a small minority who spoil it for everyone else, and it's like the blots on a page. Everyone sees the blots, they don't see the page. And you know, so I know people get excited over sports, I never do, but that doesn't mean to say that people shouldn't. All I say is, please, there's no need to be violent. As Ringo said, peace and love. You don't have to, you know, you support your team, you're proud of your team, that's fine, but don't cause violence and damage. There's no need. All it does is restrict you on what you can do, because basically the man is going to come down on you. Drying out here, so I will keep a hold of said beverage. I've got hiccups as well. I mean, another way the image was sort of, I know it's done, not done maliciously, and that was the Harry Enfield show where they do that though, don't they? I never heard anybody say that, but I think that was meant in good humour, tongue-in-cheek. All I could say is I find Liverpool a great place. Please find out for yourself. And we have Finroth. Also, you know the embarrassing feeling when you accidentally send a comment before you finish typing it. Yep, been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But don't worry, yeah, it made sense. So we got there in the end, so yeah. As I say, I've been singing the positive side of Liverpool and of Derby. In fact, those of you who are possibly visiting England, we are a beautiful country. We take it for granted. But if you are coming from abroad, visit York. York, Canterbury is another one. Oxford, Cambridge, London. Well, that's sort of standard. But if you want to go to the seaside, there's Whitby, Scarborough, that's far north. Or go to Ramsgate down south. There's all to go for. And the Isle of Man, another place, and the Isle of Wight. I've been there, really nice. And of course, good old Brighton. I must warn you, Brighton isn't a sandy beach. It's a pebble beach, but it's a lovely place. There's some nice antique shops there. But, you know, as I say, it's all to play for. And I know that some of the countries you come from, like America, Canada, England, you've got farms bigger than England, but don't let that put you off. And as I say, as I said earlier, if you come to Derby, we'd be more than happy, Bragi and myself, to meet up with you, to have a chat, and get some selfies taken and things like that. You know, I don't care what religion you are, I really don't. It doesn't matter to me in the slightest, and I don't think it should matter. It's what's in here, in your heart, that matters. And yeah, you know, I've met people from all kinds of religions who I think the world of, and there are some who I prefer not to speak to again. It just depends. If you're a pagan, it doesn't mean you have to be into magic and the occult. It means you have to be into nature and the love of nature. I just thought I'd put that in. Oh, we've got another one from Ragnar Breaches. Finroth, I was thinking, I think Liverpool has a few warts. I think the two local football teams are a divider, sectarianism, and often they are little to left learning and sentimental. Well, yeah, I suppose you could say that about Celtic and Rangers. But again, it's a football, it's a game, and it's not a matter of one faith against another or one type of faith against another. I know that in certain areas of the United Kingdom, there is this divide between Catholic and Protestant. My mother's family was brought up Catholic until my granny went with my grandpa, who was a Knights Templar. And Catholics don't like, well, they didn't, I don't know whether they still are, they don't like Freemasons of any type. We were taken out of that. And like I say, I was brought up Church of England, and then I found the Norse faith was the one for me. And if Christianity is the thing you like, go for it, you know. Yeah. One of my best friends, she's born again Anglican, I think, Anglican. But yeah, there's nothing wrong in that. Like I said, it's what's in your heart and how you conduct yourself that matters. I'm sorry, I hope my voice is going slightly quieter because I'm just talking non-stop. Hang on. Let's get back to my magic piece of paper till we get some more comments. Bragi's disappeared yet again. Wait image. Doctors talking, sharing a problem. People that can help family trust. NHS. Yeah. That'll be something I think it's probably going on anyway. That doctors put yourself out. I mean, at this time you're all busy as hell anyway. And the idea of doctors talking to each other, Bragi's just come back in, and giving advice, I think, you know, for the NHS. We're lucky in this country with NHS. You can go private, but they're the same doctors and nurses. At the moment, they're coping with COVID-19. I would think America is having big problems with the numbers. But like I say, there's more of you in America, so therefore there's going to be more cases of COVID-19. Brazil's another one, yeah. Bragi's there playing with his hair. So yeah, you know, we're getting quite a few comments. We've got 8 people on the line.
All right, well, don't forget to share it.
Well, that's
invite your friends to watch.
That's what they're doing now. Njal, we heard your feelings. We heard your feelings once on Earl Grey. Which teas would you prefer? N word, Kenyan breakfast. I love that. Or if common brands, Brook Bond PG Tips. It's a nice drink.
Kenyan breakfast.
Kenyan breakfast is marvellous.
Can you still get that?
Yeah, you go to Betty's in York.
Oh right, you can't get it in Sainsbury's then.
I don't know. You might well be able to. They do a variety of teas, but I like I like a tea to grab me. Woof. Also, Thai Fu is the one I was brought up with. I don't know what you get. I don't know if you're from abroad or not. Tetley's poo. That's for cartoon figures.
What about Yorkshire tea?
Ah, now Bragi has hit the nail.
Expensive though.
Do you know it varies from region to region? They adapt it to the water, whether it's hard or soft.
Well, it's not
water.
Yorkshire tea then.
It's made in Yorkshire.
I know, but if they adapt it for Derbyshire, it's bloody Derbyshire tea.
Well, look at him. Anyway, if Yorkshire tea are watching, maybe you'd like to explain it. But I do know I did actually enjoy Yorkshire tea. So, yeah, I'm drinking coffee, by the way. Lukewarm coffee at that. Okay. Earl Grey. Well, you see, my ex, she used to drink a weird combination. She'd drink Earl Grey with Lapsang Souchong. And it sounds as bad as it tastes as bad as it sounds. It has a smell about it which, if you imagine a granny's drawers that you open and it's not been opened for about 50 years, and that smell, that's what it reminded me of.
I don't know, I don't go around opening granny's drawers.
Well, you should. That's amazing. That's what started me on antiques and collectibles. I used to get told off for ever going through Granny's drawers. Not the drawers that you're thinking of. The wooden drawers. Not the calico wrist cutters. Okay, yeah. Okay, anybody got anything else to say? But, yeah, somebody was saying, where's Bragi? Well, he's sitting in a chair just off camera. He's not in his Viking kit. Perhaps you'd like to see him.
I'll put my hand in front of the camera. Wave at him.
Nah, come on. If you're going to be there, you got to be there, man. You got to. If the Pretenders walk 500 miles, you can do 10 feet.
I don't think they've walked 500 miles in their life.
I would walk 500.
They're pretending to walk 500 miles.
Oh, well, I've been to America. That's more
But
than 500.
if you had a letter, would it come back?
Well, this is it.
And also, Donald wears his trousers.
Well, he wears a kilt.
Donald wears his trousers.
Yeah, for those of you abroad, Scotland is actually a different country, as is Wales and Ireland, well, part of Ireland.
And Cornwall.
Some would say Derbyshire in the way they carry on, but they have the strong traditions. So there we go. I'm just going to finish this off. He's sloped off again. I don't know what's up with the guy. He wasn't joking when he said this is your live stream. Okay, now we have a rune called Gar. Now it's got to put the special paper down here. I'll be with you in a second. And there it is on my arm. Can you see that all right? And that is a diamond with a St Andrew's cross. What that is the spear Gungnir. And that's Odin's spear that when you throw it, it comes back. And it's to repel any negative spells or curses that people put on you. I've got covered in them. But it's better to be safe than sorry, or better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. I've now got another comment from Ragnar Breeches. I like Earl Grey with its bergamot citrus every now and again, but most teas are okay for me. Builder's brew goes down well. Yeah, I think that's basically what I'm saying. I don't take sugar, but to me it's got to have milk in it. There are herbal teas which, quite frankly, I just don't bother with. I mean, I can imagine there's a lot of people who actually do go big on these herbal teas. I tried one and it was just not me. But, you know, horses for courses. Earl Grey I just found very weak. I like tea with a bit of woof to it. I don't drink tea all that often because it's usually when I run out of milk. I won't drink black tea. It just doesn't do it for me. So fortunately, payday on Monday. That's the 27th. So I'll get some milk and I'll be able to have a nice pot of tea. I like loose tea as well as I like tea bags. I actually use Tesco tea bags because they're cheap. But I've also got some loose tea, which is nice to have, especially on a rainy day. That's just me. So, and Rob Napier, good afternoon, Rune Egil. Good afternoon, Rob. How you doing, mate? Good to hear from you. We've got an action-packed job. Finrath, do you drink green tea? Well, I'll be honest, I've never had it, so I'd try it just to give it a go. So, you know, I can't say whether I do. I've had jasmine tea at a Chinese restaurant. That was okay to start with, but it got a bit, strong later on. Rob Napier, doing all right, thanks. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Rob. I don't know if you've done any bits in the garden. Am I right in saying that today Leicester is coming off lockdown? Perhaps you'd let me know. Ragnar Breeches, same here. Gave up sugar when I was 7 years old. I used to drink coffee, but I've gone off it in my old age. loose tea for me. Yeah, I mean, some people just love tea. I mean, I drink tea. I've got to be in the mood. I drink a lot of coffee, not instant, but coffee that's ground coffee. Like I say, my ex, which, you know, still throwing a box at me, which I'm still pals with, you had to leave the tea bag or the tea to brew for 4 minutes exactly. And when you're gagging for a cup of tea, that takes a bit of doing. But it does make a difference. It's a difference I don't celebrate. But having said that...
the ultimate time for macking is 5 minutes, according to science.
And good news for people on COVID-19. Rob tells me now that my area is now clear. Well done, mate. I'm glad you come out of lockdown.
You can come to see you now.
Yeah, you probably can. But I'm sure you will.
Pass your mug, I'll get you a coffee.
I'll put it down somewhere. Oh, it's down. Excuse me a minute. Sorry about the top of my head. There you go. Bragging is amazing sweatpants.
Well, you can't help it. You're born with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Would you like another top of a head?
All right. Oh dear. So anyway, there we go. Things are livening up and things are loosening up. I hope we don't get a second wave, but something tells me we will. Hopefully we'll have learned from the first wave. It's a terrible thing to happen, but in a way I think we can gain positive from it, and then it's making us think we are not asbestos, we are not free from plagues, things like that. And to sit and think, well, you know, maybe my life could be different. Maybe I could make the world a better place. And I've said this all along. Try and leave the world a better place than when you found it. And you can't go far wrong. And it doesn't matter to me or anyone else, I think, really, what religion you are. Prejudices are so easy to fall into. I've fallen into them. I haven't got rid of all of them, but I'm trying. I really am. But yeah, you know, we've got to live and let live and have some fun while we can. Now, people say you only live once. I don't believe that. I feel as though I've lived many times, and I was able to, I probably told you the story about I had this sort of out-of-body experience where I went back in the past and I forgot about it. I was about 3 years old, and then about 30 years later at uni, I met this marvellous woman. She's gone now, she's died, and I left a bit out and she filled it in. I said, how the hell did you know that? I said, I was there, darling. By the way, it wasn't ancient Rome, it was Greece. So that put me in my place. But she's in Valhalla now, bless her. So may the gods bless you, Bet, and you, Cat. So anyway, yeah. Now, have we got any new comments at all? No, I don't think we have. Yeah. And just to remind you about Sir Andre's music channel, which is Donga 9691 Donga. If anyone's interested, yeah, give it a view, see what you think. You know, the guy's gone to all this effort to set a channel up. I think the best we can do is have a listen. So, any more? Yeah. Well, it's good to hear that Leicester, well, that part of Leicester's clear. And let's hope that there's a lot of other places that are on the borderline of being on lockdown. I don't know what the death toll for today is. It's a bit gruesome, I know, but it seems to go up and down, you know, between double figures and 3 figures. So, yeah, we're talking about one of the things is weight and image. I did touch on it briefly that as a child I was considered obese, and I got up to 20 stone at one point. we get so many mixed messages on it. One hand, we're told, keep your weight down, avoid diabetes type 2, which I got, keep fit and healthy. Yeah, clothes are made only to a certain waist size and ladies' measurements. Then, on the other hand, oh, you've got to be who you are. You've got to be, if you're fat, you're fat. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not the point. Let's have some clarity out there. If you're fat, you know, fine. But if you're thin, fine. I mean, there's no wonder we have eating disorders when the establishment thinks awfully, old boy. It's going to be red hot. Let go of it.
You put it on the floor, it'd be easier.
God, and burn it. I grab hold of it and he holds on to it and wonders why. Yes, you nearly heard me swear on telly. Anyway, like I say, what we need is clarity on this. I mean, my weight's gone up and down, and I used to get stick from my father. He used to count how many times I chewed food and things like that. And, you know, people think it's funny to call you fat, son. And another saying, well, be positive about your image, be proud, be stout and proud. Well, if it's bad for you, maybe you ought to do something about it. But all I can say is, if you feel good at what you are, then fine. If you don't feel fine, change it. But it's basically, all I can say is do what you want to do. You see, we have images now. I mean, you look at models, male and female. Don't forget they're airbrushed to look their best. They've probably dieted and trained like crazy to
tracksuit bottoms.
The tracksuit bottoms to you too. You know, they're professional models. They get the best pictures out of hundreds and airbrush any imperfections out. The trouble is, it sets the bar, especially for women, very high. One of the things I've noticed, and I've got to say, man, you got to shape up on this. Women go to the umpteenth degree. Their hair is well done, they dress well, and everything else. And they turn up for the date looking perfect. A man comes along in tracksuit bottom, sweatshirt, and you're lucky if he's washed that day. And they're slagging the woman off because she's got her hair out of place. Gentlemen, let's get smarter. Let's take some pride in how we look. You don't have to be Beau Brummel, but a wash and a shave, clean shirt and a nice pair of slacks would help a long way, and I'm sure the women will agree. Tell me what you think. I mean, fashion, okay, fine, but be clean, be tidy, take a pride, because basically you're judged. The moment you walk through that door, they're judging you. And why should women settle for second best? Because that's what they're doing. So, you know, take a bit of pride. There's nothing wrong with wearing a suit. There's nothing wrong in wearing a nice pair of slacks, a clean t-shirt. If, you know, there are quality ones out there. You know, think of style and fashion. You know, maybe someone out there can comment on that and say what they think. I'll listen and I'll read it out if you do. Okay, my ear is clear. And Waringar says, bathe often like Vikings. Exactly. You know, a stinky person, you know, there's no need, not nowadays. You know, there are showers. I mean, most people have a sink. Soap doesn't cost that much. And it's, if you're not washing, it means you're depressed. You have a low self-image. Well, if you've got a low self-image, tell somebody. You know, depression is one of the biggest killers out. Killed a friend of mine and she hanged herself. And I miss her terribly. I get very angry about it because I saw and I did a bit, but I could have done more. So anyway, okay, and then next Finroth says, I thought you were supposed to wear something a bit farmer, fancier than a t-shirt. Well, Roman Viscotti, Well, I'm off, dears. This was wonderful. Thank you, Egil, Bragi and all. Well, yeah. Tune in again now, Layla. We'd love to hear from you again. All the best. Stay safe. Ragnar Breaches, what do you think about the Abrahamic religions being forced on us to convert or die and destroying all our sacred groves? Did you hear the Pope and Agenda 21 saying that Christianity will be a new religion? Well, no, I haven't actually. It's not going to make any difference, you know. Arabs are being forced to wear the standard dress. It's a controversial topic, and I'll be honest, I don't know enough about it to comment. People being forced into anything is, well, pretty bad in my view. However, I know the practical reasons for that. Tie your hair back so it doesn't catch fire and things like that when you're on a cooking fire. The actual face veil, I don't know. I haven't read the Quran. Perhaps I should. But I'm not going to get into my religion's better than your religion, because I think that's wrong. One thing about your religion is there are rules. If there are rules, then basically follow them. Roman Biscotti, have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Layla. You too. Big hugs and kisses. Ragnar Britches. Bye there, Roman Biscotti. Now, I've just been handed a list from Bragi amidst the sweatsuit. Questions for Egil. How did Egil become a Viking? Right. Now, this is religiously, I was a Viking way before I did reenactment. Just something that fitted for me. When I was at York, York being York, of course, there's a rich tradition of Viking culture. And Jorvik had the Jorvik Ingeherd, run by the great Peter Gardner, and it was more craft based, but it was something to do that didn't cost much. And my financial situation being even more dire than it is today, I went back home to live with Mummy, and Peter told me something which has stuck with me ever since. He said, remember, you're from York, you know, you're in the York thing, you carry our reputation with you, so treat it with honour. And I think I have done, and I've always remembered that. So yeah, if you're watching, Peter Gardner, thanks. How did you choose the name Egil? Well, I chose the name Egil from Egil Skallagrimsson, who was a hero of mine. I read it and I thought, well, me and him, we've got something in common, that we're both stroppy, we both do runes. And I like the translation. It means terror. My true Viking name is Rune Egil Thorsson, Rune Terror, son of Thor. But it's a name that I like, and he's done me well. I'll be honest, he's earned me quite a few bob over the years. Which is better, Saxons or Viking? I know, what do you like best, plain chocolate or milk chocolate? It's the same. It's all history. There are certain aspects of both cultures I like, certain aspects I don't. Saxons are obviously very successful, and I'm actually descended from Saxons. My family originate from Devon. We call the name Branscombe from my mother's side means Raven Valley. One of my ancestors, Sir Walter Branscombe, he was Sheriff of Exeter twice. He then became a diplomat for Edward III, as Boniface, the Archbishop of Canterbury, was on the fiddle. Went to Rome, didn't sort it out completely, but slowed him down and was given the bishopric of Exeter. If you go to Exeter Cathedral, he's buried right next to the altar. So, Vikings, well, what can you say? These are amazing guys. The trouble is we focus more on about 1%, i.e. the people who came over and biffed everyone up. The majority of Vikings were farmers who stayed home. What TV do I like? Oh, now, there's a number of them. Tonight, I like comedy. Comedy always makes me feel good. Friday night dinner's one. Excellent. IT people, I like that. Father Ted, obviously. American Dad, I like that. I like archaeological programs as well. Dr. Alice Roberts does a program about digging, and anything with Bethany Hughes in is good as well. But how much music floats Egil's boat? Well, I like music. My favourite band is Jethro Tull. I've got a number of guitarists I think they're great. Jimi Hendrix, great. Jeff Beck, Peter Green, early Eric Clapton, up to Derek and the Dominoes. Gets a bit commercial after that. Carlos Santana. Let's face it, Keith Richards is another great. I also like classical music. I love Elgar. Of course, anything by Wagner is always good. My favourite opera is Carmen. I love that. Such a cheerful. I feel good when I listen to it. What do I like most about the Vikings? Well, the Vikings, I love their spirit of optimism. They travel. They have such a zest for life, but you know, also they accept death as part of living. And you can't go far wrong on that. One of the things that I found most interesting was in American Dad, when Roger the Alien, somebody died and he said, dying is the most natural thing in the world. It's our reaction to it that's abnormal. And I think, yeah, you know, he's right, even though he's a character. Alfred the Great, who was he? Alfred the Great was probably the greatest visionary in the royalty that we've ever had. Was he a nice person? Well, if you're a king, yeah, or a queen, you can't afford to be nice because there's always someone trying to kill you. But he was the one who had the concept of a united kingdom, which wasn't achieved in his time, but his daughter, Queen Athelflaed, one of my heroines, helped to bring about. Bap or cob? Well, bap's soft and floury. I like a nice crunchy cob. Now, to those of you who are not from Derbyshire, a cob can either be a stone or a horse, a type of horse. In Derbyshire, a cob is a crusty bun that you have things like cheese and onion in and things like that. Jolly nice they are too. My favourite top 5 films, ooh, depends. Godfather 1, 2 and 3, that's 3 covered. I love those. Excalibur, it's a good old romantic romp. And Valkyrie Rising, which is to me the first. And I'll put in the Vikings with Kirk Douglas as well. Favourite Viking weapons, of course, is the sword. The sword is a wonderful thing to me. What are you live streaming? When are you live streaming again? God willing and the river don't rise next Friday, hopefully. My favourite tubes, my favourite story. There's so many. I like inventing ones like Dave the Cat, anything like that. But I like how Thor lost his hammer. That's my favourite story. Where am I from? I was born in Rochester, Kent, Fontenay Nursing Home. I lived in Chatham at that time. Then we moved to Radlett. From Radlett to a little place in the Midlands called Waingroves. Waingroves to Ripley, which is about 10 miles away, and then to Belper, which is a mill town again, another 5 miles away. I was at university at York, back to Belper with my mum, and then I live in Derby, which is quite fun actually. Where was I born? I was, like I say, born in Rochester, 1954. It was Sunday, November the 7th, 9 o'clock. I couldn't tell you my weight because my mother told me I wasn't listening at the time. My favourite comedy programme. I don't really have a favourite comedy programme, to be honest with you. I like a good laugh. I like anything with Rick Mayall in it and Ade Edmondson. There's another one. I've got a series called Bottom, which is sort of an arcal comedy, but I can identify a lot with it. Okay, so that covers that. A wonderful weekend. We've got from Ragnar Bridges, Christian is an amalgamation of Abrahamic religions. Yeah, it is. It's basically Judaism with a Western slant. Yeah, I've got no problem with that. If that's what lights your candle, fine. Yeah. But I think people ought to be made aware that it was described to me, and this is not my words, as a mongrel religion. It's made of bits and pieces. Well, you know, maybe. Ragnar Bridges again. This is interesting. I nearly forgot. I saw a chat a while back, and Egil's eyes on his chart said we were noble eyes, and Bragi was peasant eyes. I thought that was a little funny. Oh well, there you go. I can't remember that personally, but there you go. I was only having fun. I do have people who are aristocrats in my family on my mother's side. As I say, I can date my family back to Saxon times. Here's one for our American friends. I actually have the distinction of having two relatives killed in the American Civil War on opposing sides. One fell off his horse into the Ohio River, and the other died of fever. So make of that one as you will. So yeah, you know, keep those comments coming in. It's always great to hear from people. I know I'm rambling on. So here we go. I'm going to get my coffee again, so excuse the top of my head. I doubt if I'll burn myself on it like Braggy was intent on me doing. Let's mind the computer. We don't want to get coffee on it. Okay. Right, here we go. Another one from Ragnar Bridges. I read today that scientists think the Vikings spread smallpox to Britain and the other parts of Europe according to an analysis in their teeth. The movie I always liked, The Adventure of Robin Hood. Okay, did the Vikings spread that around? It's possible. I mean, let's face it, they travelled all around the world, and it's possible. I don't know. It could be said that that's the thing. The Adventures of Robin Hood. I remember that television series. It was fantastic. Michael Praed was in it, and it was the first attempt of having a pagan-based Robin Hood. You know, Herne the Hunter. I thought it was great. Nicholas Grace as the Sheriff of Nottingham. I thought it was great. I'll just have a drink. Of course, when we look at the name Robin Hood, it was explained to me by the late and great Vera Chapman, blessings on her soul. We said, you know, it's based on Robin Goodfellow, and the Hood would be Odin, so god of the forest, called Puck and Odin. Who's to say otherwise? I know there were cracking stories when I was a kid. It used to be on the black and white telly back in the late 50s, early 60s. Richard Green, and it would start off, the arrow would go flying through. It's amazing. Maid Marian lived in the forest and her makeup was perfect. But there were some amazing people on that. Michael Caine was one that spring to mind. An interesting fact about the Richard Green Robin Hood, it was the time of the McCarthy witch hunts, and you've got scripts written by top Hollywood script writers. So yeah, it was a very high standard. Bert, do you like movies or TV? Don't know what TV is, but I like movies.
What all that instead of doing your trumpet noise?
Oh right, here we go. Braggy's just bought a bugle. We'll pass it over. We'll give it a go. I'm not saying I can do it. If I ain't got strings, I'm not much good. Twang! Robin Hood, riding through the glen. Yeah, I'd do better than I thought. But this is one of Braggy's relics. Tash got in the way. Yeah, you see, that surprised you. If you pour boiling water through it, it improves it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
All right.
Andy has got one of those, and I think it was his dad said pour boiling water. Make sure it's cooled down before you try it. But yeah, so I'd love a First World War one of those.
Oh, you see him at car boots and antiques fairs.
Yeah, I mean they're not expensive.
They're the ones you go to.
Well, yeah, bless you. I haven't got the money at the moment.
Not yet.
Do you like movies? Do you like TV about? I love history. The trouble is, and I love war films as well. But the trouble is, my other hobby is to collect medals and militaria, and I get what I call my bobble hat on. So when you see people wearing medal ribbons, they usually wear them back to front because they're not entitled to them. And you think, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong. And there's programs on the Great War, which is a thing of mine. I love. But
this is another prize relic.
Just hand it to me.
I was tormenting you.
Another £5 we could have got. Martin Gilly, who's he? Anyway, this apparently is the 14th headquarters, and Braggy also is in the American Civil War Society. He's travelled to America, I know that. And I think you're a sergeant, aren't you?
Well, I was an NCO. That's
NCO.
irrelevant.
And what regiment are you? The 14th?
Well, 14th Brooklyn. But on the back of that was our little society we had going on camp. I'm an honourable founder member of that.
I checked it first in case it was rude. It's the Temperance in Training Society. These guys have a lot of fun, and again, I've got a lot of respect because they research like crazy and they live it. I mean, be honest with you, I mean, in the Viking societies we dress, and I don't have anything to do with firearms because too much can go wrong. At worst, you can get a knock on the wrist or something with this. It's also cheaper for me. I can't afford to.
Yeah, you can show you this. This is the first photograph from the first weekend event I did.
Ooh, sexy. Oh, I thought it was a feather. It's not. It's a stain.
Yeah, well, put one down might be easier.
There we go.
What we need is a little table, don't we?
What I need is 3 hands. Okay, and that's the Brooklyn, and I think their motto is "Forget about it."
No, baptised by fire was their motto.
Still, anyway. Right. How, and as reenactors, have you guys considered trying to be in historical movies? Both Braggy and I actually have been on the Yesterday channel here in England. Great director Bruce Burgess, really nice guy. I've been in. I was on a video with Andy, and we were hanging Dave Courtney of all people. And as I looked out, I could see these two people, and they were dressed. They looked like Oompa Loompas. Then I looked round again. There's Andy wearing the Civil War jacket, and I thought, this is all surreal. And there was this other actor, Martin Gilly, arguing with Dave Courtney, and I thought, I'm not here. I was also a guard on the Devil's Island, Greatest Practical Jokes. I also played the assassin of I was playing an assassin who killed Andre. I've forgotten his name now. I killed him and I've forgotten his name. But yeah, it's good fun to do. I was in, I don't know if it's still current, but I did do filming in Ireland for the Largs Visitors Centre. If you look closely, I've wearing the same clothes for 150 years. Right, we have got Northworthy Sagas and Stories. Hello, folks. And I assume it's Bragi sent this. How's Dave Courtney, Egil? Lol.
Who's? How's Dave Courtney?
Who's Dave Courtney? Dave Courtney is a colourful figure who used to have connections with the underworld. Has written a number of books. I met him. He was a bit off with me because Martin Gillian told him I was gay. I'm not. But apparently he's very persuasive of Martin. Hello, Martin, if you're watching.
How's your finger, Martin?
Yeah, I crushed his hand in a prison door at Derby Jail.
Those doors are big and heavy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We've got a guy from Russia. Tit Ori from Russia. Good evening from Russia. And Skoll.
Skoll indeed.
Skoll indeed, yeah. But as I say, Dave Courtney, he helped organise the security on one of the Craze funerals. He was nicknamed at one time as the Yellow Pages of Crime. I found him to be a very nice chap, actually, you know. But then again, members of the underworld I've met, I've got on well with. So, you know, such is life. I've got a poster of him in my flat. Don't judge him by his colourful language. He does a lot for charity. And people forget that. I mean, I've known one or two guys from that sort of life. And they're not as they're always portrayed. Yes, you've got a dark side, but it's like anybody else. You know, some of you know how to handle that sort of situation. And it's very easy not to. Varangier, I can't read Cyrillic alphabet, but thank you anyway. By the way, our friend who's Russian Orthodox Christian, very nice lass I was at university with. She's like my little sister. If you're there, Claire, all the best. Can have some coffee. We're zipping along quite nicely. I'm expecting another piece of paper off of Bragi. He keeps nipping in and out. But, put my coffee over there for a change. I can get at it without causing problems. Okay. Okay, Varanja, if you could perhaps translate what you say for us, then we can pass it on. And talking about passing on, we'll go back to, I'll reaffirm what again. Got to go along here. Oh, Bragi's coming back. Okay. From Andre's music, Andre's music channel. Again, I will say it is Tonga 9691 Tonga. So if you want to hear some good vibes, some good music, channel, that's the channel. Okay, Bragi's looking at me expectantly. What can I do for you, Bragi?
Oh, I'll have some steak and chips, please, Egil.
I'd love to, but
yeah, there's 2 new books we got in the post the other day.
all right, 2 new books.
I thought you could show them off.
Yeah. This is, believe you me, viewers, this is a hot off the press. Oh, burning fingers. And Norman Smedley, some Anglo-Saxon brooches. One of my old tutors from York, she is the bee's knees when it comes to brooches, Tanya Dickinson. But this is some Anglo-Saxon animal brooches by Norman Smedley. The proceedings from the Suffolk Institute of Archaeology. Volume 30, Part 2, a mere 1965. There we go, that's that. So look through.
99p that was.
Good value for 99p. I can't give you because I've not read it yet. This is the first time I've seen it, but it looks jolly interesting. There's some good pictures. if a book ain't got pictures. Ooh. The next one is Peace Weavers and Shield Maidens, Women in Early English Society by Kathleen Herbert. I'm so glad that we've got a bit about women's history. I was very fortunate in that I did a year of women's history and I learned a lot. And it's got the author. So Kathleen Herbert read English at Oxford, where she heard Tolkien's lectures. Lucky woman. As a result, she's been working with Old English literature and early English culture ever since. She's particularly interested in the relationship between history and the creative imagination, and has explored this in lectures and articles and in historical novels and short stories. But there was one thing that was brought home to me. We try, and as archaeologists and historians, to put together, a story, conveniently forgetting about women's input. And at best, we're talking 50% of the story is being ignored. So anyway, as I say, I'll repeat it again. Peace Weavers and Shield Maidens, Women in Early English Society. And here we have an ISBN number, which is ISBN 9781 89828 1115. Some numbers underneath the barcode, so I better do that as well, hadn't I? Oh, it's the same, sorry. So I'll repeat that just to make sure you've got it. ISBN 978 189828 115, and that's published by Anglo-Saxon Books. So yeah, have a look through and we'll see. There's got some other bits as well. Regia Anglorum, which is both Bragi and I met through this. It was a reenactment from the time of the, it's from early Vikings to Norman conquest. They do film work. That's how I really went in for it. It was founded by a guy called Kim Sidorn, who's now unfortunately dead. He was a lovely man. But having said that, go for it. If you're interested in places to visit with the Vikings and Saxons, Bede World, that's at Jarrow. Sutton Hoo, where I dug, that's the famous mounds and graves. And Westow, an Anglo-Saxon village. So again, good place to go. There's all sorts of books. So there's those to look at. Let me just see if anybody else is... right. I just said hello in Russian. This is from Njal. The commentator above me said, good evening from Russia. Well, thank you. Good evening to you. Now we've got one from Ragnar Bridges. Egil, the film I meant was the early Errol Flynn 1938. No reenactment, but I once was in an American Civil War play called American Why, and I played both a Confederate and a Unionist and a barman. Right, well, thank you for good evening. Is it Do Svidania? I don't know if that's the correct thing to say. Let me know if I have. Yeah, the Errol Flynn. Yeah, he was something else, was Errol Flynn. Great swordsman in his own right. But yes, I mean, they're great films I was brought up on as a child. Sunday afternoon, you couldn't beat a good Robin Hood film. Or another one was Ivanhoe, which apparently Roger Moore was in, I never knew. And William Tell, that's another good one. Anything like that. I love stuff like that. The American Civil War thing, yeah, I mean, Bragi's your guy to talk to about that. He's got more uniforms than a few here. You got it. Right, Das Vidania. The only Russian I know was from an advert about a drink called Russian. And it was vodka Tavarovich and Nimnok Russia. I know it smells of peaches, and that really freaked me out, the smell of peaches. I don't know why it does. Always reminded me of death. I actually had a regression, hypnotherapy, I suppose you call it. And I was back in the Victorian times. There was a dead body that had been there too long. Hey, what can I say? Those of you interested, I've got a big hole in the heel of my sock, which is fun, not. But I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking out there, whether you've got comments. I mean, Russia, settled by the Rus, always amazes me, that it's probably more Scandinavian than Scandinavia. When you look at the Tsar's formal dress, pre-1917 obviously, it's basically what the Rus tribesmen would wear. Some of the artistic styles are, some of the cities founded there. I don't know, what we got here? Prague's in, and then he's out, he's hiding, he's playing silly boys again. Anyway, I'll ignore him. So, here we go. Ragnar Bridges, message retracted. Oh well, fair enough. Bragi looks like he's slipped into something Norse. Just put his cloak on. This is interesting, folks, oh, the humanity. And, oh dear, I think we're going to get an on-screen visit while he's getting himself Vikinged up. I shall have some coffee. I notice there's 2 more books lying on the bench there. Everywhere you go in this place, there's something. You can't put anything down hardly. Yeah. Right. And here's one from Njal, Russia. Literally, land of the rowers, Sweden. Yeah, I've heard that. But it was... I'd like to hear more about the Rus and Russian early history. I mean, I'd love to visit there. My brother went. He was in the Merchant Navy and he was at Odessa, Moscow. And that was under the communist regime, and he loved it. He thought it was great. The pictures I've seen of it look fantastic. It's it varies from a really cosmopolitan place to something out of Narnia. I think that's great. I really do. I mean, it's like everywhere else. It's got its good parts and bad parts. And speaking of bad parts, here's Bragi having a drink out of his Robin mug. Bragi, are you coming to join us?
No, I just put my Viking gear on so I can stand here and watch you do a live stream whilst being more authentic.
I don't know.
Because if you make room, maybe a big furry thing. Yeah, let's get that out of the way. Got a good book that I recommend.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
How can I help? Hang on. You're going to deal with this. It's gone funny on me. I can move up.
No, you stay where you are and I'll just squeeze in at the end.
I've got to be like that American rock singer. Move on.
Oh yes, TRT Ollie, yeah. I've heard he's been before, he has.
Yeah.
In Russia.
From Russia with love.
Right. Back in a second.
The word for Sweden today in Finnish is rutus. From the same root. Okay, that's fair enough. Bragi is nipped off again, although he's dressed as a Viking. If he's not going to appear, I don't know why he's dressed like that. Hey, it's just his thing, I guess. So, I hope everybody's feeling groovy and happy. The old live chat's still going on. And we're going to scroll down because got something to say to you, which I think you can probably guess what it is. There's a lot of people been talking, and that's good. And that is Sir Andre's music channel, which is Tonga 9691 Tonga. Remember that, because I'm going to keep on at it, even though I have to scroll on, because I'm a bit of a techno.
What sort of music does he do?
This is what we're asking.
Yeah.
Well, maybe later on when we've done this live chat, you can text in and see what's what.
He's from Bridlington.
Is he?
Yeah.
Ah, nice place, Bridlington.
Yeah.
I love Yorkshire.
He's older than me.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he older than me?
No.
Most people aren't. But, okay. You're going to sit down and have a coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, star of stage and screen, the man who is naked beneath his clothes is Broggy.
Oh, I thought we had somebody famous coming on for a minute there who was out in the toilet, but no.
No. Couldn't get Jonathan Ross.
Oh, I was just thinking Jonathan Ross.
Yeah. What's that? The Hobbit. Oh, I've read that. We've got...
Well, hello, folks.
Hello. In case you can't remember him, this is Bragi, the brains behind the channel, which explains a lot.
You make me sound like I'm a puppet on strings,
Well,
hanging about with some other puppets who have some secret spaceships.
I'm the eye candy. Oh, there he is, sitting down there, looking very Nordic, sir. What we got here? The Dictionary of Folklore, the Larousse.
Oh yeah, well I thought you could talk about that.
I haven't seen this ever in my life, so...
Oh, there you go then. That's a book I bought off eBay recently.
All right. Well, then you're not talking about it. I am.
Well, it's a very good book.
It was first published by Larousse PLC, 1995. Oh, you got a first edition.
Well, I do prefer a first edition. I didn't purposely go out and buy a first edition.
Well, again, we have an ISBN number, which is 07523-0012-1. There you go. And it's green or blue, depending on...
Larousse. Larousse?
Yeah, Larousse.
Larousse, they do some very good books. I have one on ancient Rome by them.
There's also LaRue, not to be confused, the great pop singer. Ooh, this time I'll be bulletproof.
This was the next book yours going to be handed to do a video.
All right.
So let's talk about how you learn and how we do get our folk tales mainly.
Put on a silly hat and trust the luck.
So we have a large collection of books and we can go along. And so in this one, when I first got this book, it was a Friday. I remember that. And I went upstairs, go to bed early. I thought, I'll do a bit of reading. Do you do a bit of reading before you go to sleep, Egil?
Yeah, about 2 hours.
Do you think that's where do we get that from? Reading before we go to bed?
It's just that I know I'm not going to get texted. I haven't got the television to distract me. And it's a good way to settle down before I go to sleep.
So, I was reading this book and I learned and read about Rumpelstiltskin. And I thought to myself, I'd have to learn that. So I did, and we're in about reading the little few paragraphs in this book about Rumpelstiltskin. I basically learnt the tale, and which I think a week later I recorded and has now been published. It was actually a 20-minute epic from me. So I was going to basically hand you this next, and then get you on to the old bit about Rumpelstiltskin, which is around here somewhere under red. It's an interesting character, and then you would have read that, Egil, and then you would have got the story. So that'll be one of the stories and folk tales you can record next time, because one of the things I want you to concentrate on, and me as well, is recording. You know, if you type in the top 10 fairy tales or folk tales, you're going to come up with a certain number of stories. I'm sure you'll agree, Egil, which will be the same: the Three Pigs, Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood.
We also want to get numbers in case there's a certain wave, don't we?
Well,
yes. Be honest.
Yeah, so let's face it, really, you know, you could be sitting more than a metre apart, to be fair. I mean, it's not easy to film at that distance.
Well, I mean, the thing is, we both know we're safe. I mean, your dad's at risk. I'm at risk.
Well, I went to Derby on Wednesday, so I could have it now, in theory, you just don't know it.
Wee.
Oh, right. So, do you have any questions, anybody watching, and anything you want us to talk about specifically whilst I'm here? If not, we can go back and try to cover and talk about what this stream is about, which is... let's adjust the camera slightly, because you seem to be having more of the camera than me.
Well, I'm the star, darling. So we've got...
Just be careful where you say that to.
Varangia, you got it. Varangia, Russia, literally means land of the rowers.
Let's try that.
And Varangia...
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've got my left foot. Anyway, I'll hand this over to you, because you can...
I had that book, My Left Foot. Have you ever read it, Egil?
I've heard about it, but I've not read it. Oh, The Hobbit, I've got that.
Now, don't forget with this, Egil, what you can do, you can click down here, and it will bring up this. And then you can say, Egil, that spells evil, because this thing is stupid, and auto-corrects it back. So you've got to type it again, Egil, space, says hello. I have enough with my phone up without throwing it at the wall, trust me. You press that little triangle. I suppose you think about it, that's a rune, isn't it?
Go on then.
And then that'll be messaged. And then you won't see it on that phone, because on this app we're using, the phone the app doesn't work.
I'm sweating like a fat guy in a cake shop here. Carry on.
Well, it's better than being a boulder in a china shop.
Moo.
Indeed. And of course I know a story about a cow.
All right.
Yeah.
Have we got any more?
Would you like a window open to call you down?
You can do that.
Well, when I get up next, I'll do that.
Yeah. Any good get off camera, eh?
So let's go back to some of these comments. To do another aspect of doing these live streams, Egil, because putting Egil on these live streams is also very much about training you. I'm sure you agree with getting used to doing live streams. So one thing I'd also like you to do is, to make sure you read the comments out and read them out nice and clearly. But at the same time, you don't appreciate doing that and reading your comment. Doesn't all get your arm after a while. I'm sure you get that.
I rested on my powerful thigh.
So Frangajar says the word for Sweden today in Finnish is ruotsi.
Read it. Read it out, mate.
From the same root.
Sorry about this, I've already read this, as you know.
So if you have any more comments we can possibly read out. If not, we can think about something else. We can go back and talk about what this video is about. Can I just say,
I've actually got a hole in both heels of my socks.
Oh.
Now, that could be serious.
What for? You or the socks?
The socks.
I think the socks are... Would you like a pair of socks to go home with?
No. You gave me a whole bag of socks, if you remember.
I did, yes. I could find you some more. I've got a...
How many socks have you got? I'm not kidding. I had a Sainsbury's carrier, and it was bulging with socks. And I thought at the time, how many pairs of socks has this man... Now he's on about he's got more.
Well, let's say there's old Derek watching this video afterwards.
Yeah.
And he's now saying in Australia, g'day, Pam. What's a Sainsbury's?
Sainsbury's is a multiple chain of supermarkets. Good grief. I thought anybody had heard of Sainsbury's.
Well, may not. So, maybe not in America.
What would be in America, it would be sort of like Piggly Wiggly down south, you know.
Have you heard of Walmart?
Yep. I sure have that. They own Asda.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they're trying to sell it, or I've sold it anyway. When we was in America, we went to a couple of Walmarts, Egil. And
there, yeah.
I think that was in Maryland, or possibly even one of the other states next door, Tennessee, or... Anyway, when we was there, the locals said, we don't call it Walmart, they call it Waddy's World.
All right.
And you could, we went in, you had cars hanging up, you can go and buy a 60-foot yacht. Over there, you could buy your machine guns.
Yeah.
So, and then we came round this corner of the food section, and one of our guys going first started laughing very loudly. I'm just considering there's about 20 British men going around a supermarket, mostly buying alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, food's secondary, isn't it, really, when you're abroad?
Oh, I don't know about...
Well, maybe for you it's not, but for most men, it's get some beer and booze in.
One is a gentleman.
And indeed. And so he came across this aisle, and at the end of it was a big display board of this new product. It was called Toss on the Flavour. and suddenly you found 20 men from Britain laughing their guts up. And there was old John laughing his head off, and what's his name? I can't remember what's his name. He was laughing on the floor.
Big impression.
Well, it's I just you know, you forget people's name after a while, don't you, John?
Yeah, Tony, you do.
So anyway, kind of we've still got 10 people watching, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Now, how does the sound? I think it's always polite. There's a few things when I watch a live stream. It's always good to ask the quality of the stream and ask how, because yeah, fundamentally, if you say to the people watching,
I've had to speak up a bit, but my voice is going again.
Yeah. Whereas, what is the quality like?
I have a quite sensual voice.
Well, you do have a quiet voice, but see, this is a thing. See, well, let me just carry on what I was talking about. You know, you got. Yeah, I'm now lost in track. So yeah, so you got a quieter voice. We'll talk about that then.
No, you carry on with what you're doing.
But one of the reasons why I came into the live stream now was to relieve Egil. So to give his voice a rest, because it does get to you after a while. But see, the problem is if you don't edit videos, if you're not watching a lot of the content we make, then you can't tell the difference between when you're talking and I'm talking. So for me, it's a bit, we're both to error really, because you're too quiet and I'm a little bit too loud. Perhaps I should be around about here and Egil should come up.
Yes.
But one thing we could do and try is to get some kind of a phone with a recognition of the sound.
Graphic equalizer, they call it.
Well, yeah, well, for the sound audio.
Yeah.
So,
any more comments?
So, yes, there's always more comments on these wonderful streams. But don't forget, folks, to go and also share this as well. We plan to be on for another hour at least. Yeah. Perhaps in a few minutes, would you like to stand up for a while?
Oh, I don't know.
Right, Egil wants to sit down. He can stay sat down.
Oh, I don't know. What's the comments?
So, we have a comment here from Ragnar Breaches. Talking of books, a must-read is My Wicked, Wicked Ways. His autobio, Errol Flynn, and his novel, Beam Ends. Also, the Howard Hills books on archery, who was the archer in Robin Hood 1938.
Well, Errol Flynn fought in the First World War in the London Scottish and was wounded.
Was he?
Yeah, very brave man. His views later on became somewhat controversial, but he's, like you say, you know, film noir, swashbuckling. He's the guy to think of.
Well, you think of Errol Flynn and you get the image of him on the pirate ship and, you know, on a road flying by with a sword in hand. And
good looking guy.
I think there was a film done in the last 5 or 10 years about his life before he became an actor. Was quite good, but I did hear he was quite a dude, you could say.
Yeah.
And we don't really see those kind of characters in modern society.
Yeah, well, they do, but they don't last long, like Robin Williams and John Belushi.
Well, yeah, but, you know, Robin Williams, to be fair, died a lot later and older than John Belushi, who was early in his early 30s. Was he not 33, I think, when he died?
I tell you. I remember
1983.
I remember them both dying,
But, I mean, to be fair, Robin Williams was a lot older and probably both suffered from the same sort of a problem.
Well, I think he suffered from Alzheimer's, and I think because he did away with himself.
So we have to check out those other books. I mean, it's always great to go back in these live streams and look at the comments.
I must admit, my favourite book of all time,
yes,
for easy reading, is Confederacy of Dunces by J. Kennedy Toole.
I don't think I've read that.
It's a Marmite book. You either love it or you'll hate it. It's set in New Orleans.
Yes.
And a bloke called Ignatius lives with his mother. Now, my ex bought it for me because I was living with my mother at the time, and I've got a big moustache, as you may have noticed.
You haven't, have you?
Oh, yes. And I said, well, you've not read the book, have you, Doc? And she said, yes, I have. I've skimmed it. I said, you haven't read it, have you? I said, what do you mean? I said, well, 2 words. Myrna Minkoff. My ex had black hair and wore glasses and used to tell me what to do after we'd been together. I mean, you know, she's a lovely woman and everything else. But it was as though this book is about me and her. But it's something I find amazing. I really love it. I've read it 4 times. The other book is, of course, Lord of the Rings. But my big, as I say, if I was on a desert island, Confederacy of Dunces would be the book I'd take with me.
Well, that's an idea for the channel, is that perhaps you could review, when we come back to be affiliated again on Amazon, you could review a few of your favourite books, and we'll find an affiliated link on Amazon. Because we do need to do that at some point again and get back onto the affiliation. And another thing which we've actually completely and utterly neglected, Egil, is our Patreon site. And what I'm thinking of in the future, just to talk about Patreon, is having a small monthly admin fee for anybody that wants to support us on Patreon. And then the videos that we published will be seen there first. That'll be more of our exclusive content, and then we will also try to film some more exclusive content which won't be published fundamentally on the channel in the short or long run, but will be made just for Patreon. And then they can pay £5 or $5 a month to get access to our videos before they get published. Because you can do that. On YouTube, there's 3 categories of how your videos are stored. You can have your videos set privately, which is great. But in the old system, your views from private watching. So if you watch your video yourself, but in a private setting, it doesn't count. In the old days, well, it's changed recently, you can have a thing called unlisted videos.
Right.
It's a bit of YouTube talk.
Yeah.
Unlisted videos is how most of our videos are stored, Egil. What it means with unlisted videos is that I can copy the link of the video from the web page and share that with people. So if we got a video, let's say now and again we do a video, and I want to get somebody to watch it, thinking, is that mistake I've made too bad for that video and should I edit it out? So I'll do this. I'll copy and paste the link and share it with Eirik most of the time, and he'll watch the video before everybody else gets to see the video. He kind of vets them for me, because some days, you know, I'm doing the vetting as well, you see. But some days you get a video where you've just vetted it, you watched it on YouTube, there's something you're not sure about. Should I leave that pause in, or should I leave that mistake I obviously made in the video and tried to edit out, but I didn't. So
I like sausages, I'd just like to say.
Well, right, well, we're talking about that reminds me of a folk tale called The Three Whiskers. And this is an alternative version about a man. I know, that sounds up the simmer frame. I'll go in a minute and check
Is that not what it is?
Oh yeah, it's not a random trumpet.
No, I thought you'd got a loose thing that was blowing in the wind.
I mean, how many people think, wait, Braggy, when I come round your house, I hear this strange trumpet noise. You don't have some kind of a Mexican band in your attic, do you?
Mariachi band?
Yes. No, I don't. Yeah, but, you know, let's face it. If you went and won £60 million on the National European Lottery tomorrow, Egil, that's one of the things I would do. Is hire one of those bands and walk around everywhere I went.
Oh, God, not me, mate. I'll be off to the medal shop buying medals. And,
well, you would be.
And getting updated channel equipment.
Well, we do need to get another camera. We've already got one decent SLR. We need 2 really to get a close-up shot. One of the things we've been trying to do recently in the filming is, I think a little bit doing Egg was annoying, is because you just get more work involved. Is you do the introduction where you stand in different positions.
Makes me sound like a sloth. Go on.
Well, no, but you just walk here. You don't be standing up and moving about too much. I can appreciate that.
I've got to walk back, remember?
Oh yeah. But you know, how many months now until you can apply for a free bus pass? But
4 months, November.
Would you feel safe at the moment getting on a bus?
Hey, it takes more than a germ to get this little black duck. What's in the unbox?
Well, we've got 2 boxes here to think about unwrapping at some point. And I think we'll let our lovely audience decide. Let's put that down for a second. Whilst I have a cup of tea, Swig.
Alright, yeah. Again, tea or coffee?
Well, when I want a nice refreshing drink and a slice of cake, it's a cup of tea. And there's a secret to making tea.
Go on.
The first thing you need is a good source of water.
Yeah.
The second thing you need is either have that water supply with one of those filters on to take away the nasty chemicals.
Yuck!
You know, but you don't want that. And that will ruin and taint your taste of the tea. So if you've got a filter jug, which is just good enough, you filter some water. And then good. You put that into a clean kettle.
All these people who spend their careers making water safe, and you buy a filter to filter it out.
Well, no, you're filtering out the trace elements of pesticides and elements of metals and chemical traces from tablets and various other ingredients you don't want. So once you've got your filtered water, you've got your water boiled, you get your nice cup. And the first thing you do, you don't put your tea bag in the cup, no. You get your boiling water and you fill your cup up with boiling water, because what you want to do is heat your mug up.
Teapot.
Or you have a teapot. If you're traditional, you may have a teapot. Best ones are pottery, but a nice steel one would do nicely.
China cup.
If you China cups are the best by far. So if you've got a China mug, this is not, even better.
I have one.
So you warm up your mug. Make sure it's not a breakable china. You don't want to put your hot water in there and suddenly you find your mug's broken and you're trying to sue Braggy.
Stick a teaspoon in it.
I've got it itchy nose. Why do I always get an itchy nose on camera?
You stick a teaspoon in it if it's a delicate thing. And
yes.
The heat travels up the spoon. It doesn't damage your cup.
I'm doing some else today as well. I'll tell you after this.
Go on.
So you then got your nice heated mug. You put your hot water in, then your tea bag. And you've got to let your tea mash for approximately 5 minutes. Yeah. 5 minutes is the ultimate time for mashing your tea bag. Then you can use the old method of straining it out with 2 spoons, or if you're like me, you've got a plastic tea strainer.
I have a stainless steel one.
It is a bit like going fishing for tea bags, but with only one tea bag, and they're not being a wad, but a kind of a mad device you get to grab your tea bag with. So then you put your sugar in before you put your milk in. If you don't have sugar, you don't put any sugar in.
I don't take sugar.
You don't take sugar. And then you put your milk in, and you put your milk into the taste you want it to be, whether milky, medium or strong, like me. And that is your rough guide by a Viking of how to make a cup of tea.
Do you remember?
I've got a rubber nose, I've got it, you know.
I don't know if this is before your time, but the late great Kim Sidorn in the Regia Anglorum magazine wrote on how to make cakes. There's some type of cake, I forget what it was now. He said you keep some back for yourself. Yeah, I miss the old guy.
Well, do you call that cake tax?
Ooh.
So let's go back to your comment before we go back to the next bit and talk about something I learnt the other day.
Go on.
So Ragnar Breacher says, I try to stay out of supermarkets. I suppose small businesses, the butcher, the baker, fishmonger, etc. better sound, and with Egil speaking up, it's much better.
Right, well, I mean, go to a fishmonger in Derby. We actually have a fish market, but it's closed at the moment. So if you want any fish, you have to go to the local supermarket. I'll be honest, and it varies. I mean, I've found in Derby, even when you queue in, we've got the social distancing, that we have a laugh and a bit of a joke. Same in Belper, but my sister goes to Hena and she's jostled and people, she had a set to one of the cashiers because they were giving it some unnecessarily. And I said, shop in Belper or Derby. A lot easier instead of having hassle. A friend of mine was saying today, actually, she rang me before I came here, saying she went to a petrol station, she got the mask on and the gloves, and she was verbally abused by another customer. And, you know...
Well, that happens, I suppose.
There's no need.
But no need at all, no.
Yeah, I mean, I got masks I was given by you, and I've also got a couple of masks given to me by my good friend, Max, which I got today. I shall be wearing them when I go shopping, because, you know, it's the law now.
Oh, it is a law, yes, indeed, now, from today.
For how long, I don't know, and whether it'll do any good, I don't know. But the point is, you got to follow the rules, and hopefully we'll put an end to this terrible disease. We got any more comments?
So, Wagon of Bleach in a comment says, no!
No.
That was Ronald Coleman.
Ronald Coleman.
In that regiment.
You're quite right. Got it wrong, sorry.
Basil Rothbone was the best fencer.
Basil Rathbone got the MC. He was in the Royal Artillery and he was in a fake tree. And if you asked him, he said, yeah, I got the MC for looking like a tree. But he was a brave man. He was a forward artillery spotter.
That used to be a game in reenactment on the way back from the pub.
What's that?
I'm a tree.
All right.
Have you ever played it?
No.
So you're coming back from a pub, there'll be all 30 of you. You know, all walks of life, from judges down to people in the very dregs of society.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll both fit in there. You know, we'll be walking back, and every time a car came, the idea was we all have to stand still and say, I'm a tree. And the first one to move when the car came past was the loser and was out of the game.
I can remember when we were trying to get back from the pub, I was digging at Castle Hentlis in Wales. And I just wanted to get back home so I could get some sleep. And the director was going, my hat, my coat, my umbrella. And he got his arm around the pair of us. And then as we walked forward, and then when the umbrella, he took a step back. It took about an hour to get back from the pub. Should have taken us about 10 minutes.
Oh, the life of Egil.
Yeah.
One day we're going to make a little mini series called The Life of Egil.
Yeah.
Have somebody like that guy from Game of Thrones as playing Egil.
I actually look more like James Corden.
He's only about 3 foot high, but he's very funny.
Oh, then, right, yeah. But,
or we're going to have, I also thought, Brian Blessed is too old really to play you. I mean, these days they can make actors look younger though. So...
Yeah, be honest, stick a tash on James Corden, you've got me, ain't you?
Well, I thought we could have Tom Hardy, make him look a bit older.
Tom Hardy,
you know, he could say lines like, Egil's in trouble.
Well, let's put it this way, if they did make a film, bring a pillow and a blanket, because it couldn't get quite boring. But it can get exciting.
Now, going back from the thing I learnt the other day, which I now remembered that I did learn, was that I was talking to one of the carers about hankies.
Mm-hmm.
And we all love a good hanky, don't we, Egil? I mean, a bit like, you know, a beard or moustache maketh the man. Well, so does the hanky. And I learnt the other day, because our other carer called Marvellous Martin, hello Marvellous Martin, I call him that because he's marvellous and he does a good job. Well, they all do. And
see, got yourself out of that one quickly.
He's been ironing our hankies in a triangular formation.
Oh, my mum used to do that.
Instead of the traditional one, which I like, which is ironed square.
Mm-hmm.
What I did not know was that if your hankies are ironed triangular, well, that means that hanky is for a lady.
Oh, right.
And that is how ladies in the past had their handkerchiefs ironed. And men, well, they had their square so they could point it in a top pocket and have a little triangular bit sticking up.
I thought that's why they was triangular. My mum used to do it that way and never thought anything of it. I know my dad used to have handkerchiefs with his initial W on it for Will. There you go.
So, Regular Breaches in a comment, he says these words, Egil. Teapot, tea, and milk. In cup first, no sugar.
Oh, you're a milk in first. I don't take sugar either, but...
Each their own.
I've got a brown teapot called Brian, because it looked like my mate Brian.
Brian the teapot.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'll be honest, I just rinse it out. I never wash it properly because the residue builds up and it makes it taste good.
It makes you think, doesn't it? How old is that? Keep naming things.
It's just a thing that I've done ever since I was a kid. It was the first, Brian the teapot. It's very special to me. I bought it from Boots in 1987 down Coney Street in York, and it was the first thing I ever bought on my own, away from the family, that is mine.
A teapot.
A teapot, and it means I use it so much. Don't use it as much now, but...
What is the most weirdest thing you've ever brewed in it?
Tea.
Well, there you go.
I use teapot. I've got a teapot for tea. I have a special little frying pan for pancakes. So
this has been a very random live stream. We started talking about mental health and we ended it talking about tea. You know, we could say that, you know, having a cool, calming cup of tea is good for your mental health.
Yeah, well, we talked about erectile dysfunction as well.
Well, you know, if you can't get it up, then that's a bit of a problem. But there's no point shying about it. Get something done. Yeah, and you know, it can be just from fatigue, being tired. You know.
But as I say, it's a very serious thing. I lost a relationship through it, and I don't blame her. Because you've got all the feelings and emotions, but you can't do anything about it.
Well, yes.
And it's very annoying.
And of course, women also have the same problem, don't they, when they lose their sexual drive?
Yeah, well, that's called the menopause, I guess.
Well, yes, but they have hormone replacement treatment.
Yeah, but as I said, Levitra Viagra doesn't work for women.
No, why? Well, it wouldn't do. It's made for men, that.
It's amazing how many women try it and say, oh, it
really?
Works. Oh, yeah.
And you can buy it now from your chemist, I've gathered.
Yep, I've said that over the counter. You can't buy Levitra over the counter.
So let's go back to some of these comments.
Go on then.
So we've got a comment here from Finn Rafe.
Hi, Finn.
And he said, the two comments going to one. And he said, you could make some videos, daily life, Egil and Braggy.
That'd be very boring in mine because most of it would be in front of the telly. However, having said that, my life is weird. 98% of it I spend static. That other 2% I go places where people never ever would dream of going. And I don't know about Braggy. He's like most of his time's taken up looking after your dad.
Right, that takes a lot of your time up, granted.
But yeah, you know, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have no problem answering questions of people. If I won't answer it, I'll just say I don't want to talk about it and move on.
Now, I have thought for a vlog episode, something like vlog 50 or vlog 100, I'd record a daily life of Braggy. Yeah. And in that daily life, I'd be going down Derby on a bus and film a bit of that and feel very embarrassed. And we meet Egil and have a little tour around to Derby and talk about things and do a video like that. So watch out for that.
I've got something to ask for people out there.
Well, yes.
How do you get rid of mice? I have got mice traps down. I was sitting watching telly last night. One of the little swines came out from round the TV, looked at me, snorted and walked off.
Well, Martin Brown, the Belfast Viking, in a comment previously in a video some months ago, he said, what you got to do, you got to trace where the mice are originating from. Then you go out and buy some very cheap expanding foam from Pound Shop or Dollarland if you're in America or a thrift store, and you block the hole up with as much of that stuff you can. And then if they still come back, then you got a second hole. So it's no good just trying to trap them. You got to hunt down and move things and find the actual source.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that is the answer for you, Egil.
The trouble is,
alternatively, get the council to come and move you out and get you a new flat.
It's not the council I'm with.
We'll get Derwent Living to sort it.
They all probably tell me to go forth and multiply.
What, like mice?
Well, my sister has had rat trouble.
That's a scary thought.
And the council, well, it's the rubbish from next door. The council are charging us 70. Well, it's not the council. The rat catch is costing us 70 quid.
Sure.
Now that used to be free, as part of it, but
I know.
You notice, and this is me moaning, right? We pay more and more in council tax, and there's less and less they do. I mean, yeah. Hey, England, what's going on? Okay, next.
Oh, so any more questions? Now, at the moment, we have got 2 parcels we need to unwrap. I know what's in both of them because I bought those said items. But I think before we wrap them up, let's just show you the parcels, and then you guys and girls, and don't forget the ladies, can decide which one to open first. Now, you got this one, which is kind of a long parcel. Or you can have this parcel. No, you want to swap over, Egil? You put that, give it to me to you, you to me. That's heavy, that, isn't it?
Just a bit. There you go. Tall, thin, short and fat.
Which one would you like us to open first? Well, we can open the very long parcel.
I've got my knife ready.
Alright, now just be careful when you do open them up. You open that one, I'll open this one with the knife. Because I know that one will be safe. But what I'll wait for some comments. See what you guys think. We try to get some interaction. Now, another thing I was going to talk about, what you do in a live stream, Egil, is it's always polite to ask people, well, where you're from.
Well,
where are you from, you guys, girls? And leave it in a comment. Tell us where you're from. If you're from Germany or America.
Well, Layla obviously is from Canada.
Yes.
She left a little flag.
So Finn Rave says in your comment asking about how to get rid of your mice, and he says get a cat.
I'm not allowed pussycats. I'd love a cat. I really would. I love pussycats, don't I?
But why can't you get permission for a temporary cat?
Nope. Can't even have dogs visit me.
And he says maybe that could fix the mouse problem.
Oh yeah, a cat will soon get rid of them. But unfortunately, under my tenancy agreement, I could keep a pet mouse.
What about a ferret?
Yes, I'm going to keep it in a cage, but bits of disemboweled mice, no. And also the damn thing will bite me.
I've got a really heavy one here on my knee.
I know, that's why.
You're lucky.
Yeah. I won't go that far.
Lucky Egil. I
won't go that far. Okay, well, any more comments?
Not at the moment. Finn Rafe says, I'm from Finland. I'm moving to Hungary next fall. All right, cool.
That's a bit of a culture change for you.
Yes, we're going to have to tell some Hungarian folk tales, Egil, in the future. Yeah. I've got a few lined up from Poland. Yeah. And I got a book recently, or 2 books, about Greek folk tales.
We've got a lot of Polish people in Derby. There's a Polish club. Some very pretty girls from Poland as well.
Egil, pretty girls are everywhere.
Yeah, but they seem to avoid me like the plague.
Well, they won't do when you're an international super YouTube star.
Yeah.
You know.
Any pagan ladies into the Vikings who smoke?
Yes, especially over 50 with wrinkly stockings.
I don't care how old you are. Hey, what's going on here?
Well, we can't possibly have you going out with a 29-year-old. You'd have a heart attack, and that'll be the end of the year on the channel.
If she can't keep up, she can't keep up. You're upside down, bro.
No, we was. That was our Australian signal.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. Come on, folks. Which one are we opening first?
I've lost the live chat now.
I don't know. You realise Martin Gilly wouldn't have done that?
Well, Martin Gilly's an expert. So you just keep talking to the camera, Egil.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching Martin, I hope you get well soon. He's got cystic fibrosis, poor man.
What's that then?
All your tubes get plugged up with pus inside you.
Oh dear, that sounds awful.
You have to get the tubes clear.
Oh dear.
He's also got heart problems.
Even more problems. Well, get better.
Still, there you go. So,
Gilly just reminds me of that dwarf from The Hobbit.
Which one?
Gimli.
Gimli, oh yeah.
Can't get a signal now. It's pretty typical, isn't it?
I don't know. So we're off air, are we?
No, we're on the hair there. We're still working there. That is fine.
Well, if we don't get online soon, I'm going to have to open this parcel. It's killing me, is this?
Well, let's have a game of guessing. What do you think the parcel is?
Knowing
And keep it adult friendly. I mean,
it's very light.
friendly.
It's very light and it's long. I'm thinking fabric of some description. Oh, what are we? 1909. We're in the 20th century.
You've indeed. That's the year we've just gone past.
Okay.
Egil was about 5.
Sure. Bitch. In 1954 I was born.
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you said 1949.
No, that's actually, in fact, my brother's 48. Well, I've got one brother born in 1941, another one 43.
There we go.
Another one 1948. My sister's 52. I was born 54. I'm still the apple-cheeked boy of yesterday.
This is like a guide to Egil's real family.
Yay. The people want to know, you know.
Well, I suppose you do. You know, you are international superstar.
Woof woof, baby. That'd be a good t-shirt, wouldn't it?
So we've got a comment here. This is from Finn Rafe.
Hi, Finn.
And it says Hungary is actually the second closest country to Finland in terms of ethnicity and languages after Estonia.
Yeah. Oh, well. I hope you have a good time and settle in well there.
So we have a guess here from somebody, a subscriber and friend of the channel. And that is from Ragnar Breaches.
Hi, Ragnar.
And they are guessing, and this comment is Egil's dummy underwear, and the other a Seax.
Well, this could be a demi-trunk. I am wearing said demi-trunk pants as we speak. Like I said before, it's a pant for all season. And it is unisex. I knew a lass who used to wear a demi-trunk from Primark.
Well, perhaps we could film a video of your top 5 demi pants.
Yeah, pants I have known. When I was in the TA, Territorial Army, part-time army, I bought Fruit of the Loom. Now, you American people will know Fruit of the Loom.
I've got no idea what Fruit of the Loom is.
It's like Marks and Spencer's.
Well, right, what's Marks and Spencer's to those that don't know that?
It's a popular...
Posh.
Well, in actual fact, Marks and Spencer's is posh. Anyway, to get back to my pants, we were doing counterinsurgency where we were attacking terrorists, and I had to arrest this guy and I had to cross the river to do it.
Right, in real life?
Oh, it's just messing about.
Oh, right.
It's exercise. And of course, what they don't tell you about long johns are, when they get wet, they get extremely heavy and have a tendency to try and leave your waist. So I ended up handing him my rifle while I pulled my underpants up. And he nearly wet himself laughing. Anyway, so much for that.
Well, you know, if we ever become affiliated again with Amazon, then you could do a video reviewing some demi underwear, and then you could start a little phrase across the world where people start wearing it again. And the pant of all the seasons, as you call it, could make a massive comeback.
Well, they're ideal. They support the parts of a gentleman and keep the parts of a lady.
Let's face it. I mean, sod David Beckham getting the advertising right to it. I think you should. You should be the face and the name
face of pants
of that underwear.
Simon Egil, the face of pants.
You'll be known as Egil Debbie Pantman Thorsson.
If there was 3 of us, if Tom was here, we could be the 3 Pantaniers.
Where is Tom?
I have no idea. You know more about him than I do. I saw him from a distance.
I stuttered them, but I was about to say I did text him the other day on Wednesday, just gone, when I went into town. And when I say going into town, what I'm actually referring to is going into Derby Centre. It's just like a local saying, isn't it? Going into town. Even though we're not a town, we are indeed a city.
Ooh, uptown boy. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes, we'll apologise for that most embarrassing music interlude by Egil. He will probably never do it again.
I've earned lots of money, mate, with my singing and guitar playing.
Well, you said you'll make it on the stage one day. Yeah, there'll be Egil on the stage after the show sweeping up. Was there somebody's got to do it?
No, they said to me, you ought to be on the stage. There's one leaving in 5 minutes. Be on it. You better still be under it.
Well, as long as you don't get buried under the stage, you're all right. So, Yes. So
Am I going to put this away?
I did offer to take a picture of you in your demi underwear and send a picture of Pernilla, to Pernilla from Sweden, who's Norwegian. But she kind of declined the offer on that.
So you call yourself a Viking?
You know, she got enough information that she knows what kind of pant it is you wear now. She doesn't need to see you doing a David Beckham pose.
Well, you know, Primark, they do an excellent pant.
Yes, but they don't.
Pack of 3.
Yeah, but they don't last very long.
Well, it's how if you change them every day, they last longer.
About a few months.
What, wearing them for a few months? That's savage.
I used to go to Primark and buy clothes, but now I've gone to Marks and Spencer's. Yeah, and my clothes are lasting a lot longer.
Yeah, you've got more money than I have.
Well, I know, but I think it's a false economy. You're thinking to yourself, well, if I go out and spend £20 over a year on underwear, or I can go to Marks and Spencer's and get 3 underwear, you may have 6 underwear to begin with, but by the end of it, you won't have 3 underwear or 6. You'd have probably 3 or less. But yet, your Marks and Spencer's 3 underwear will still be in lovely, perfect nick.
Mine's still in perfect nick. I've had some pants for 5 years. The only thing is, where I've lost weight, the elastic has stretched. And that's a bit embarrassing. But having said that, like I said, pant for all season. It's inexpensive, fashionable. Should you be caught out with Sam's trousers,
yes,
you can stand there proudly, never mind Beckham, you can stand there proudly and with modesty and yet dignity.
I just got the image there of you, of now being in the retro series Hello Hello, playing the man who played the Gestapo officer.
Oh, her
with you coming out from behind those curtains.
His eye look clear.
Well, somebody I know, or know of, or used to know, is a sutler, trader, and he knows the man who plays Hair Flick, and he actually has his leather coat.
All right. Yeah, well, as I say, I mean, Gordon Kay is dead, so's Carmen. He's played his wife, she's dead as well.
My friend Nigel was driving, and he was just in front of the car when he had his big accident, Gordon Kay.
Yeah, because a piece of wood flew.
Yes,
and
he was in the car in front of him, and he saw it and stopped. Oh, Gordon Kay.
It was lucky he's alive.
Well, yes, and then you saw him in the series after that. He had a dent in his head.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
he basically speared through the head. Anyway, has anybody got on these parcels yet?
Willie Thorne died the other day.
Oh, he's a snooker man, isn't he?
No. Nobody's asking or saying which box we should.
I'm going to make an intellectual decision.
Well, let's hold it up a bit higher, then they can see what you're doing.
I'm opening a box.
No, well, they want to watch. Okay. They're thrilled by this, the people afterwards, when it's gone public again.
Here we go.
Be careful, Egil. Watch out, it's very explosive.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to finish this long cut.
Yes. It is something very pleasurable, and I've got one already, so I thought I'll get one for you.
All right.
I thought, you could add it to your collection of things you could use on camera.
Pants?
Yeah, well, luckily we're not a pant underwear channel. So we don't need to have you there in your boxer shorts.
Ah, but the world is full of pants, mate,
in another universe, you would have been in the TV programme Bottom.
Just call me Y Front. It's like skinning a rabbit.
Indeed, but, you get a nice meal after that, or at least one meal.
Did you know rabbit meat is the receipt?
I know, I covered that up on purpose.
Did you know that rabbit meat has got no nutritional value whatsoever?
Yes, we've often heard this on the channel. Apparently, some men in Alaska, Canada, who was going out trapping for food, did not eat the food they trapped and decided to live a rabbit, and they starved to death.
Yeah.
How mad is that? You can throw the paper away in a comical sense, if you like, and then afterwards I will pick it up.
Whoa.
But it's got to be like this. You've got to really... Yeah, that's better. Get rid of the bot. you want the box? Take it home with you.
No, thank
You
you.
could make something out of it, Egil. You could turn that into a train, couldn't you, Egil?
My mum used to love to pop these.
You want to take that home with you, the pop on this, when you're on the
Oh,
chair.
I think I know what it is.
What is it?
Yeah, chopper. Oh dear.
I've already randomly tweaked myself for some strange reason. And I thought it would be a good little thing for you to have.
Oh, thank you. Chop it.
A nice Viking style one.
There you go. They're used in boat building.
And we've got 2 of them
Oh,
now.
it's sharp.
It's very sharp and very well made actually.
Thank you.
So you won't break like the other one we got. Let's have a look then.
It's almost a Thomas Hawk, isn't it?
Yeah, that's been blacksmith made. It's a bit slightly loose. It wants hammering down a bit.
Well, we'll keep it here for safety because where I live,
Right.
it's very
What do
tempting.
we can do that end though?
No, I've never seen that. Is that for an attachment for a thumb?
Well, I thought you could drill that and have a
yeah, thumb.
lanyard on it. Now the other day I was just on eBay, and there's been a couple of Seaxes on eBay, and one of them has a brass fitting at the end and a lanyard, so you can put a little bit of rope around your wrist. Do you think that's an authentic? Let's try using it. You hold it.
So I was just looking at. Oh, it's a colour supplement, isn't it?
You're dead. Well, maybe not.
Yeah, it'll do.
That was a good test because
Well,
you put that down safe. Then after this, I will go for a few minutes after we've done the next one. Now, I need your knife
there you go, sir.
because I won't use mine. It's a bit sharper. So we're gonna unbox this one for you.
Yeah.
There's nothing special, so I wouldn't have done these in a separate
Ragnar
video.
breeches, Egil's demi underwear, and the other a Seax, yeah? We need to check those demi underwear out there with another commentator who was keen to see them, well, a while back.
Perhaps you could do some demi underwear collab with an underwear channel.
Well, there's Ragnar breeches again, yes, that's the name. Farrell's not seen her about for some time. Well, pant is as pant does.
Do you reckon we should make a video called Did Vikings Wear Underwear? And we'll do an introduction video of you just in your underwear asking that question.
Well, to be honest with you,
Would that be too much?
some Vikings did and some didn't. I spoke to you about the trousers. Some of them have actually got like a horseshoe at the front with it, so to put a black adder tackle out.
Lord.
The long shirt or skirt to cover them up. Some people wore cloths.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean underwear. There was a very good exhibition at Pickford House in Derby once about underwear.
You take the knife.
Thank you. And
I'll
apparently
leave it back in a minute.
women didn't wear underwear till about 1800.
What did they do then? Just let it all hang down?
Yeah.
God
Well,
blimey.
apparently there were no women's lavatories. They would straddle the pavement and urinate in the street.
God, it doesn't smell like a coastline.
Well, this is why you've got, vignette, which is a little silver box, and in it is a sponge soaked in vinegar or smelling salts, because it was a bit whiffy. Not just the streets, but people themselves. And you just wave it under your nose.
Get in
Look,
there.
is it a book? Is it a book?
Well, it may be a book.
Not Sweeties. I like chocolate.
Well, luckily Vikings did not have chocolate, so nobody can possibly send us any, could they?
No, it's a shame.
I mean, we don't have a postal address yet, unless we give out your address. We can put that on the web, on the channel, and people would send you stuff for themselves.
Yeah, and all sorts of other things I didn't want.
But
Oh, there you are.
There we go.
It's books,
Now, one of these books is for myself.
which is
So this one here,
a soldier book.
military dress of the North America. because I'm into that period of history and I don't have that one.
Well, you're also into wargaming, aren't you?
Well, yes.
I mean, you've got the soldier figures. It always struck me as a very complex way, but...
1973 first edition.
That's 1973. I was 19 when...
You have a look at that. I paid 99p for that.
Hey, it's not bad at all. It was American First War.
Yeah, it's like a doughboy.
Yeah. Do you know why they were called doughboys?
Is it because they're like bread?
No, well,
Right.
there are various reasons. The one I think is where they were fighting in the just before the First War in Mexico, and the dust covered their uniforms, and it looked like dough, and they were called doughboys. You may well know better than me. I mean, that's the one I've heard. Oh, there's a lot of people here in various states of dress. Oh, look at that. Got photographs of people.
Oh yes, what are the names?
Hang on.
What are the names? So we're going to know them.
Nationalities. There's a bloke called Catcher.
Oh, Catcher. I know him.
Yeah,
Philip Catcher. He was an author on this period of history.
And H.L. Peterson collection.
Yeah, Peterson collection. That's got sold, I think.
See, they were mocking me, but it was there.
So,
This little pussycat's got his head screwed on. But yeah, there's some quite interesting photographs.
yes, I'll use these for paint guides. There's always have good pictures of the uniforms.
Oh, look at that. There's a shield. Weird, isn't it?
That's a bit weird, isn't it?
Now, you see, is he wearing pants? True Highlanders don't.
Well, so to say.
Well, in the army, the only time they ever wear underpants, the Highland regiments, is when women are on parade or gymnastics.
There's another cheap 99p one, I think. And then the others were
Graves.
£10 each. These are much bigger books.
Oh, this is one.
My God, you're going to have some right reading on this for your research, Egil. Oh, leggings.
Oh, yeah. Oh, these are pictures from archaeological digs.
Yeah, it's an archaeological dig book.
From the term when people were
So
treasure hunters.
that's that one there, look.
Yeah.
So, then we've got this one, and it's called Dress in Anglo-Saxon England.
Has that got an ISBN number?
Well, it will do, yes.
If you read it out so people might
That's a
want to
good
buy
point, now. Where did you learn that one then, Egil? I've not done that
it.
before.
Open University.
Oh, what?
You used to have to quote all.
I didn't know they was watching.
For years.
IBSN 10 184 36 35 721. Or you can have the long number, which is 9781 8438 3521. And this book needs a clean. Why do people never clean books?
Well, does that mean they've signed off?
Well, they just retracted the message, so it's being read. I don't need it to be seen. So this is just a book about dress and how people dressed in the Anglo-Saxon age. It's quite a thick book, and
a lot of pages to say.
that was £10, but you can see why, because it's sort of a
next to your bedside table.
probably it's a good late night reading if I wasn't reading something else.
I'm reading something here at the moment. What's this one?
Then this is a another finds book from like a university or museum, and this is the Anglo-Saxon Cemetery at Butlersfield, Lechlade, Gloucestershire, and this is prehistoric and Roman activity and Anglo-Saxon grave catalogue.
Who's it by?
Well, it's by Angela Boyle, David Jennings, David Miles, and Simon Palmer. And the IBSN on this is 0947816887.
Right, we've got Finn Roth who says, "What's your favourite history book?" Yeah, the one I enjoyed reading was History of the Franks by Gregory of Tours. If you skip chapter 1, it's a bit like History Ecclesiastica with blood and goats. It's great fun.
What I like about these books is that you get pictures of finds. So from somebody interested in experimental archaeology and making things, and these books are a valuable resource for reconstruction of items.
Another good history read is anything by the Roman authors. Procopius is good. Is Procopius the Gothic Wars.
Got that. Would
It's
you like
great
one of
fun.
them?
I'm talking to the viewers. I'll
Okay.
be with you in a minute. So, I mean, yeah, it depends what period you're looking at. But also, Martin Carver writes a good book. I would say that because he was my history supervisor. And history, Edward James, he was at York, but he's now, I believe, at Belfast. No, Reading. He's the authority on the Franks. The people, not the sausage.
So I'm going to nip downstairs. Would you like to explain and just talk to people about how to become an archaeologist? Because you often hear about you being an archaeologist, and you've done that for a living and
Very short
studied.
time. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
How would you become one? And I'll be back in a minute.
There's a number of ways. There used to be, I don't know if it's still the same, but there used to be archaeological trusts. Each city had them. You could go on a dig. If you know there's a dig, go as a volunteer to learn bits. It can be just, I'll put that down there. It can be as simple as you're cleaning finds, which is, we had a number of digs in York, and they were pensioners, and they had a plastic bowl of water and were cleaning the finds. They'd ask you questions about it and you'd tell them what you know. Archaeological societies, there are numbers of them. Get online, and they'll advertise digs, the volunteers. A pal of mine, she goes up on Hadrian's Wall with her husband and children, and they dig at the Roman forts there. And most archaeologists will tell you about half an hour you should be able to dig. It's when you start doing reports. One problem as an archaeologist, if you're colourblind, you can't really do excavation because you're dealing with different coloured soils. But it doesn't stop you from being interested and reading books, theoretical archaeology, things like that. How did I get into it? Well, I'll be honest, I was working in a factory and I wanted to leave. I wanted a better life. And I had looked through various prospecti. I was working with the Open University at the time as an undergraduate. I was doing history and I did a bit of sociology. You could transfer the credits from passes and exams. I tried Edinburgh and had the temerity to fail an exam on York, which were very encouraging. And I had a look through and I could see, I thought history straight off, but archaeology, I thought, yeah, that could be fun, travelling around. And sure enough, I did archaeology and history combined, and I was lucky enough, I went to Castle Hentlys in southwest Wales. I went to Sutton Hoo on a resistivity survey, which was great fun. I also met some amazing people, made some good friends, and I learnt a lot. I then dug at Carsington when I'd left university, and that was to get money for my first reenactor's sword. So yeah, one of the great programs, of course, is Time Team. It tends to put things in aspect, and it's an ideal situation because basically whatever they need, they get. I was actually at the university with Helen Geek. She was doing a doctorate and I was doing a BA, and she worked on the Sutton Hoo for a time. But I found it was great fun to do, but the trouble is I wake up in the morning and my hands were like claws. You see kids at 20, 25 with rheumatoid arthritis. So I knocked that on the head. And also what I trained to do, people were doing for nothing because Time Team had shown them that they could do it. Don't hold that against them. I think it was a good idea. Anything that brings this sort of thing to light is good. And it's your history as much as anyone else's. There was something I was told at university, which I believed before I went there, and that was, history belongs to you. It doesn't belong to a few stuffed shirts in Oxford or Cambridge. It belongs to you. It's part of your history. And that, you know, I agree with that. And it's our duty. You know, I'm not an archaeologist anymore. I haven't dug for, 20 years or more. But the point is, it's our duty of an archaeologist to convey that knowledge to you, the public. It's up to you whether you want to accept it or not. I enjoyed it. I met some good people. Travelled around. I mean, this is something I enjoy doing. That's why I've done a lot of things in my life, was to travel and meet different people, and have different experiences. If you're going to do it, be aware, try and wear gloves wherever you can to keep your joints warm. Get a trowel that's made of one piece that's forged. But the people around you will teach you what you want to know. And if you feel confident enough to go to university to do it, go for it. You know, that's what I did, because I wanted to get out of the factory and I wanted a bit of fun. I'd been 16 years in a factory, and I started doing the OU a couple of years beforehand. And like I say, the Open University, I loved it. And your exams, you get credits, so many to your degree. But you could transfer those credits. They give you a list of universities to go full time. And I thought, yeah, why not? So I did. And I ended up at York, which is a fantastic uni. But as I say, you can volunteer for digs. They'll always take volunteers. And, you know, give it a try first off, because you might not like it. I've been in trenches with loads of water in it. I've been in boiling hot sun, neither of which are particularly pleasant, but hey, comes with the job. So anyway, that is how you become an archaeologist. We're down to 5 people online now.
Yeah, well, the more keep popping in and popping out.
Ooh, matron. So, yeah, my voice is virtually gone.
We could zoom up close with the camera and then they'll hear you a bit better.
Yeah, if you like. We've got any more? No, we haven't got any more comments at the moment. Let us know what you think. Some of you may well have been archaeologists or tried it, or thinking of trying it. Let us know.
What's your favourite subjects about archaeology and aspects of that?
Finding stuff, basically. I don't care what period it is. As I say, I dug at Sutton Hoo, and what I found there fascinated me. We found 200 bodies, which in itself is nothing special, I know, but the bodies were shaped like runes. A thing nobody's commented on. They nicknamed one the V bomber, and there was a multiple burial with 2. I wonder if they were trying to make a statement. I was trying to find, I've got bulletin from 65, another one from 85, but they haven't got the bodies in. They just mentioned sand bodies.
All right.
And I've got it somewhere where they have the actual pictures. I mean, there's one of the hanged man. There's another one who's tied up and obviously buried alive. It's some right gruesome ones, I tell you. And the mounds themselves fascinate me. But I love history. It's like saying, who's your favourite child? Obviously, I'd lean more towards the Vikings, but, you know, I just enjoy history. I got that idea. My granny used to talk to my dad about people who'd been long dead, about 50 odd years, who I'd never heard, but it fascinated me to hear it about the old days. And you got the odd mention of Grandad in the trenches or in South Africa, or, you know, and I loved that, to hear about the past. The present I found rather boring and in some ways quite intimidating, because it wasn't a particularly pleasant time and I could hide in the past. But yeah, history was something I was about the only thing I was very good at school. I didn't understand maths and didn't want to, much to the frustration of my father, who was very, very good at maths. He got a distinction in his exams, and he actually was an accountant for a time. Me, if I want money, I spend it. If I haven't got it, I don't spend it, which is perhaps the wrong way to go about things, but yeah, there are some things that transcend that, and I love the history. I love going around the country and just seeing how different ways people live, their accents and things like that. Now, most people, they say, I'm from Derbyshire or I'm from wherever they are, and that's their home. Well, I was born in Rochester and I've only been there twice. Once when I was born, and once when I took a wrong turn in going to Canterbury. I don't really have a base. I mean, I lived most of my life in the Midlands of Derbyshire, but I love Yorkshire, I love Derbyshire, I love my country. There's good places and there's places that are down at heel, but wherever you go, it's a beautiful country. And if you're not from England, come and pay us a visit when times get kinder. We're always glad to see you. As I say, York, Derby, London, Kent, really nice. You know, if you come in the summertime, Kent is called the Garden of England. It's the most beautiful fruit you can get. Go to Staffordshire, you know, there's Stoke-on-Trent, places like that for pottery. Come to Derby, you've got Denby Pottery, which is, I think you'll find is a very odd building. You've got Crown Derby in Derby, all kinds of history. And if you come to Derby, tell me. You never know, I might be able to meet up and I'll give you a potted history of Derby. So there you go. Now I'm just going to check, see if anybody else is having a word. Oh yeah, Finrath. The runes speak through nature and other places. Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's fascinating when you see the bodies at Sutton Hoo. I've seen, it was described to me as a brown man in brown bath of brown water. Imagine a three-dimensional sculpture. And if you look closely, you can see the hair is down to the waist. And that is because, if you think about it, the Saxon kings traced their lineage back to Odin. When you become Christian, you want to trace it back to Jesus. Jesus was of the house of David, and they didn't cut their hair or beard. There is a case of the Franks that this king had his, when he fell asleep, somebody shaved his head, and he had to go into a monastery for 6 months because nobody had taken any notice of him. So make of that one as you will. But if you get a chance to go to Sutton Hoo, well worth a visit. It's quite atmospheric. The mounds are there. They've got a visitor centre, which they didn't have when I was there. I went there in '87, where just after the big storm we had, which solved the problem because they were finding D-shaped pits. What it was where the trees were, and the root the mantle had pulled up and formed a D shape. Just check again. But yeah, I found archaeology fantastic fun to do, but to write about it, oh no, there's a whole different language. And when it came to archaeological theory, I had no idea what the heck they were talking about. You know, those of you into archaeological theory, there's the great theorist Ian Hodder, very nice chap. I actually met him, a lovely guy. He was at Cambridge. I don't know if he still is. Possibly not. But his books, he has different theories, and it was him who actually turned me on to what's called ethnological parallels, i.e., you know, you look at the houses, the remains that you've got of a house, and you look at Africa, and it works out the same. It's an ethnological parallel. It works in some cases and others, and it's like, why is a flint shaped like it is? Oh, it fits the hand. And you look at, say, flint tools, in alternative cultures. You know, it's the same. Why? Because it fits your hand. Game over. So yeah, you know, there is that, and there's loads of other people who do archaeological theory. If you go online, things like that. But the thing about archaeology is, it's a dynamic concept. What we thought about the Romans in 1960 is completely different from what we think about today. Same with the Vikings. You know, Victorians saw them as entrepreneurial, but savage, noble savages. Now, in the 70s, you think of them as just bloodthirsty raiders. You think of them now, they're more traders, poets, tradesmen. I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, but the thing you have to realise with archaeology, it's a political, they're used politically, no matter who it is, of the time. The politics of the time reflect each culture. In the 70s, you had more sort of left wing, because that was how the wind was. The best thing, I mean, the best examples of that kind of history and archaeology is read about the First World War. I've got accounts written in 1920, which give a balanced view, a fair view. You look in the 60s and 70s, and the generals are all murdering people who, you know, don't give a toss about this, that or the other. It's becoming more balanced again now, where people are saying, yeah, that's the only way you could do it is for attrition. My own personal view is Haig was more sinned against than sinning. It's not, you know, there will always be people who disagree. It's the same all throughout history. Certain things are used politically. I won't intend going into them. One thing I would urge you, if you are looking at history, look at women's history. It's fascinating. And also, you get a further insight into society that you don't get elsewhere. The book I mentioned earlier on, Saxon Women in Anglo-Saxon Society, Judith Jesh from Nottingham University, always a good read. There's the Lady on Allele letters that are online, and just tap in women's history. It's a fascinating subject and very rewarding. I did it for a year. There are certain so-called feminist historians I have disagreements with. They're male, by the way, and you know who you are. I won't, no names, no pack drill. But if you research it, you will find out for yourself. Oh, we got a beepy beepy. Have we got any more? No, what's that beep beep beep?
Some alert, Egil.
What's that mean? We're running down?
No, you could last for 2 or 3 days on this camera now.
All right.
About the battery dying.
Oh, goody.
So what we'll slowly prepare for our 24-hour live stream.
It's 1947 now. It's nearly 8 o'clock.
Did you see that little face?
Oh. No, we're not doing a 24-hour.
Oh, we'll do it in turns.
Oh, great. Well, that makes all the difference. Hour on, hour off.
We were doing it for charity.
Yeah. Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, right. What, the Egil Thorsson?
Bank of Egil.
Bank of Egil.
BOE.
Can you hear this guy? Okay, well, we'll see.
I've got another one planned where we're going to read every commented on the channel.
Yeah. Well, so long as we get a good breakfast, eh?
You'll get breakfast, chips. Do you like chips?
I do. I like chips. Do bears go in the forest? Yeah, of course I do.
What kind of sauce do you have on chips?
Nothing. Salt and vinegar, that'll do me.
Really? That's a bit barbaric.
I am a barbarian.
Do you think it's rude to eat on camera?
Depends what you're doing. If you're doing an all-nighter, no. But sit there going, yeah, wow.
Well, if you agree now to do an all-nighter, you can have chips.
All right, then. What do you think? Can you guys out there stand an all-nighter?
I got some cider. We'll carry on until 3:30 in the morning. How about that?
That's not an all-nighter, is it?
Well, I don't think you'll go past 3:30.
I might fall asleep on you. All right, okay. We've now got 6 people online here.
So you're getting more popular, Egil.
I don't know, we had 9 at one time.
9?
Yeah. Okay. I've got an itchy nose because I'm taking snuff.
You do get itchy noses on live streams.
Well, I'm out of tobacco, so I take snuff. So.
Did you use that broken cigar I gave you?
I smoked it, mate. I smoked part of it going home.
Oh, good Lord.
But,
what a life to live, broken cigars.
It's what I do, baby. But, no, as I say, I get paid on Monday, so snuff till then.
How about you ask the live stream a couple of questions? Firstly, what are they drinking? Secondly, where do they come from? And thirdly, what would you like future live streams to be about?
Did you get all that, people? So
you ask them.
Repeat it again, please.
What would they like future live streams to be about?
What would you like future live streams to be about?
And I've forgotten the other two.
And he's forgotten the other two. But I have got a comment here from Finwraith. But if you're going to read every comment, what if more comments appear during the live chat? Ah, you see.
We have to do a live stream reading the live stream comments from the live chat.
It's going to be like this is.
Endless.
It'll just be me and Bragi rambling on. Instead of for a couple of hours, we'll be doing it all day and all night.
All night long.
Yeah, you're going to get things like that. Be warned. But,
you'll be down into your demi pants.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Underwear.
But Bragi's leaving us again.
I'm going now.
Oh, my hat's showing me bald spot. There you go. There. So as I say, yeah, I mean, being an archaeologist, you ain't going to get rich unless you write a good book on it and have a TV series. But let's face it, that's not going to be very common. There is an archaeologist I was lucky to have as a tutor, and that's Bone Jones. He runs the Dig in York, which is an old church which has got examples of archaeology, and he is one of the most fascinating men you will ever speak to. His specialty is environmental archaeology and coprolites. That's poo to people. It's not disgusting at all. In actual fact, we learn so many things about it. I learned so much from him. He does a lecture every now and then. If you see it, go to it. It's the most fun you're going to have for 2 hours. He is an extremely knowledgeable, somewhat eccentric gentleman, but he knows his stuff. He was the guy who he memorized 10 different fish skeletons and their breakages. He also, you could write a book about this guy. He is fascinating, a really nice bloke, but he found out that the human body absorbs 10% of a fish skeleton if you eat the whole fish, bones and all. And he did that by eating a fish, bones and all, and carrying a bucket and going through the residue. That's dedication. But he is a fascinating. You may see him on British television quite often. Wears a bow tie. But he's known as Bone Jones, Dr. Jones, and he taught me so much, and I am eternally grateful to him. And if you get the chance, please go see his. He's a very approachable man. Go to the lectures. Another guy, unfortunately no longer with us, was Mick Aston. I met him twice, and again, very approachable, but the poor man was so tired. When you think he was head of archaeology at Bristol, doing the time team and writing reports. I'm afraid he's gone to Valhalla now, so thank you for all you've done, Mick Aston. Thank you to a lot of archaeologists. They made my life a lot more interesting. Okay, I've not properly worked, I suppose, since then, but that's not the point. It's broadened my mind and has opened my mind, and yeah, it's a great leveler. You know, just enjoy looking at the past and remember it's where you have come from as a person, and it's up to you. As I've said many times in this live stream, leave the world a better place than when you found it. Put a bit of sunshine in somebody's life, and you know, makes life worthwhile. You know, and try things, you know. Okay, at the moment we're sort of, you've got this lockdown, this COVID-19 and all this, ooh-ha. Won't last forever. But now, instead of moping, start making plans. Make yourself a list of what you would like to do and stick to it. You know, if you want to be an archaeologist, be an archaeologist. You want to learn to play the guitar, now's the time to learn. You never know, you could be another Clapton, you know. Or maybe you want to write a book. Write a book. Have a go. Unless you try these things, you don't know, you know. I mean, look at a success story for writing. J.K. Rowling. She used to have a coffee and make it last all day because she was broke. She's a multi-millionaire now, and look at the book she's written. Who's to say you can't do it? If you don't try it, you'll never know, you know? And that's what this world is about, trying things, being adventurous. If anybody says don't do it, unless it's obvious, you know, really dangerous, give it a go. I had a whole childhood of, oh, you know, can't do this, you can't do that. I could do anything I damn well please if I want to do it. Yeah? You know, if you want to do parachuting, do parachuting. Plenty of courses out there, you know, or do pottery classes or something. Something that's realistic that you can do, give it a go. I mean, yes, I do this and I'm into Vikings, but I'm also into medal collecting, militaria. That's another stream. I do paganism. When I get my pension, I'll be able to travel around a bit, you know, and I can report back on this and things like that. And this, as I say, is a marvellous medium to make contact. Some of you have done already, and I'm really glad to see that. There are people from continents, people miles away, people who are next door to us, and we can chat, you know, and that's good. You can have ideas, you can agree, you can disagree. That's what we're here for. We're not the fount of all knowledge, although we tend to sound like it, but we're not. And what we do is discuss points and enjoy what it is that we have in common. Celebrate the differences as well. Yeah, and we can talk about all kinds of things. And I'll just check, see if anybody else is on here. Okay, yes, well, we've done that. No one else has put a comment in at the moment. I think I agree here with Finn that if we're going to read every comment and people are going to put comments in, we're going to be here non-stop. However, it's a way of making sure that we keep our word. As I say, for me it's a day out, a night out, you know. A bit of company for Bragi as well. As you may or may not know, that Bragi looks after his dad, Cyril, a nice guy, but the poor guy's got Alzheimer's and needs looking after. Yes, he's got carers, but they can't be here 24/7. And he does so much work on this channel. It's phenomenal. It wouldn't be the success it is without him. And of course, without you guys. I mean, I turn up and I rattle on about bits, I tell you stories, answer questions, but it's not a patch on what this guy does. But as I say, you know, if you're happy with what we're doing, let us know. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. The more subscriptions we get, the happier I am. Same with the comments. And hey, let's have a few people with some likes, maybe talk among yourselves, because, you know, chat's better than anything else. And especially as when some of you are in lockdown, it's good to communicate with each other, and we're always happy that Brog is eating. But as I say, you know, let us know how you feel and we can get back to you. We do take our time, but like as Broggy says, if we do a 24-hour stint, we'll cover most of it, if not all of it, and everybody can have their say. And hey, if we are doing that, which I'm beginning to think he will do, don't be afraid, bring your comments in and we can weave it all together. So yeah, great. Now then, he's coming near me with another piece of paper. Right, okay, we've got no more comments for the moment. It's got a bit of paper here, that usually means trouble.
Do you want to just recap about what the live stream is about, mental health?
Yeah, go on then. Let me know when you... What? Oh, yeah. Like the way you use that. Yeah, never mind. Anyway, yeah, we'll go over what we're doing. I'm actually running out of steam. It's nearly 8 o'clock our time. And I'm a tired Teddy and I've got to walk.
Tired Teddy.
Yeah, and I've got to walk a few miles. I've also got some texts as well. Yeah, we spoke about a number of things. I'll go through the list of what we've covered. Live stream, mental health. What is live streaming? Egil does Yoda impression. Well, the less said about that, the better.
Did he do one?
Very, very briefly.
Oh, I missed that.
Looking at it, you should be. Sounds more Welsh.
That's Welsh.
Topics raised: mental health, men's mental health, and of course erectile dysfunction, a big one. Remember, do something about it. Don't sit there going, "Oh, I can't do that." There's doctors out there. And it's only a finger up the back passage. It's nothing serious.
Well, did you have to do that?
Yeah.
Check, make sure that your tackle's not working.
Yeah, well, I mean, the prostate, the point is, it also finds out if there's any misshapen. It should be like a donut.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's any misshapen, it could be prostate cancer. So it's not a big operation.
Well, you're not living until you've had a doctor shove a finger up your...
Yeah. Well, it's good fun. Especially when I said to him, thanks for the sex and the drugs, he got quite humpy about it. I laughed my socks off. But now my brother had bits shaved off his prostate.
Some people would volunteer to do that job.
Well, I'm not going in there. That's a whole new kind of whoop-tush, and I refuse to
Whoop
get
ass.
Yeah. So anyway, we've covered that. Viking men, Viking women, stresses. Yeah. Ladies, let's not forget them. Exercise, positivity, reasons to make you unhappy. Yeah, we touched on that. Can't get it up. Do you know what? The script writers I have are phenomenal. Yeah, you can't get it up. Oh, well.
Hey, that's BBC standard, that.
Yeah, that doesn't say much, does it? Men not talking, we've covered that. Find a friend, yeah. Well, I think we've covered that, and you've been talking amongst yourselves as well.
Well, you're their friend.
Yeah, well, weight and image, covered that. And of course, Gar, the rune, which I've got on.
What about self-harming?
Now, some of you may or may not know, I used to do tours around Derby, and it was for the mental health people, mind. And it was brought home to me my first walk. I was down a place called Armen Alley where the Viking moneyers are, next to the cathedral at Derby. And I was talking my usual spiel about Vikings. I looked round and this poor woman had got cuts all the way up her arms,
Whoa.
both arms. And you just carry on because, they've come, the walking was healthy. And there was one guy, he must have been 20 stone. And he said, "Oh, leave me. I said, "No, we are a team. It doesn't matter if it takes us all day or all week. We are not going to leave you because you are part of the team. Right? And we'll walk as fast as you walk. If you want to stop, we'll stop." He was most touched by it. I also had a guy from Ripley who was an amazing poet. And he drew pictures of me. And there was... I love working with people with teaching needs. I was doing a talk about Joseph Wright of Derby, and I was in the gallery, and this guy got up and says, "Well, Simon, I've had enough. I'm bored, but I've got 10 quid, so I'll go and have a pint. You have a good one." And I thought, great. These guys tell you what they feel, and I love that. And There was another time I was teaching. I tried to get special needs children because they're the hardest to teach, and I like a challenge. We were sat there in Derby Museum in the gallery, and I was babbling away like I normally do. And this kid, he looked at me and just went, "Ah!" as loud as he could, and his eyes were saying, "I'm sorry, mate, I can't help it. Ah!" So what do? Well, you watch what the others do. And I sat there, and the teacher escorted him out and just carried on. But I thought that's the biggest honest thing that someone's ever done in a lecture, is those couple of times. And I love that, and I miss it very much, because mind is something that people forget until they're like dentists. Until you need them, you don't think about them. And mine does some terrific work. Yeah, I got paid for them, but the point is, the walk-in helped people, and I was paid one of the biggest compliments in my life. And the teacher, tutor who was taking around said, "Which do you think is the best walk?" And they said, "Any walk that Simon does." And I thought, thank you so much. I was so flattered by that, because I tried to enter into it with them, you know. And afterwards we used to go for a cup of coffee and a bun, and they used to treat me, and I thought, how sweet, you know. And used to turn up and they'd say, "Oh, we've got a few more coming," yeah. And you just have a nice chat with them. And yeah, people have got problems, and if you enter into a dialogue with them, you invite them in, they know that I'm really Simon Carter, I'm not Egil. And I take them round, I talk about it, they enjoy it, they have a good walk. And there's a lot of good walks actually around Derby, not just Viking, but Saxons, Jacobite, Romans. There's all kinds of things. There's some interesting sites that I could take people on. Yeah, it was, for a time, it was my living. And I can honestly say, this is my living now, and I love it. I appreciate all the effort that goes into it, and I love the comments that we get from you, so please let us know. And this is my way of saying I think we're coming towards the end of the live stream.
Have you talked about bullying?
I talked about domestic violence, but it won't hurt to rehash it.
Not just women, you know, being abused by men, but also men abused by women.
Well, there is a chap I know who is actually being abused by his wife.
Yeah.
People forget it's a two-way street. Any form of domestic violence is wrong. It affects the children, it affects, and it's wrong, it's bullying. Let's stop it now. If you're at school and somebody's giving you a hard time, tell a teacher. Or if a teacher's giving you unnecessary grief, tell someone. I mean, some of the teachers I had, I'd bop them one now.
Go to the headmistress.
But that's not the answer. As Braggy said, go to the headmistress, head teacher. And if necessary, tell your parents as well. Make a fuss. And like most bullies, if you stand up to them, they back down. But you're then cast in the same mould as them. Tell somebody in authority. And that's what I used to tell school children who I met around. I used to go to schools, and I'd say, I'd have a Q&A. And whilst having lunch one day, this child appeared, and I knew exactly what he'd done, because I was always outside the headmaster's office, and I used to get a whack for fighting. And I said, my advice to you is what I tell everybody: tell somebody, don't take it. Your life isn't there to be a punch bag, whether you're 4 or 404. You have a right to your dignity, to your safety, and to live a fruitful life. Nobody has the right, and you know who I'm talking about, nobody has the right to intimidate, frighten, or beat you. I won't tolerate being beaten, and God help the one who does, because I ain't the gentle pussycat that I make out. I'm a gentle person, but you cross me and by the gods you'll know about it. So,
loneliness.
Loneliness. Well, this actually is a wonderful thing. Texting. I text about 15 people a day just to let them know that I know they're alive and I care about them. And this whole thing, the YouTube, the computer stuff, is fantastic because it's like chatting to people. You speak to people from all over the world, from all different types of background, and you know, you can have a chat, and that's good. And it stops loneliness happening. I mean, you know, if you have a problem, put it out there. You know, somebody out there will be able to put you in the right direction, and or just say, look, hey, I understand. And that's a lot of things that people should feel for, you know, that you matter. Everybody matters in their own way, and doesn't matter whether you're an executive or whether you're like me on the dole, or, you know, try and help those around you, you know. As I've said before, and I'll say again and keep saying, make the world a better place when you leave it than as you found it. And I think that's something that we should all aim for. It's not about massive profits. It's not about I'm in charge of you, or it's getting along together, getting through the night. Sometimes the night is the loneliest time of all. Yeah, I'll tell you, for instance, I had a cataract operation on this eye here. I was very lucky. I had some good friends to sit by me, but they went home and I sat in the chair and I went into shock. And I thought I could die here and nobody would know for weeks till the funny smell. But with texting, you've got it there. All right, I've got fat fingers and a small keyboard, but it doesn't matter. It's there and people will know that you're there. So don't be alone, don't be scared. Down to 5 now. So if you've got something you'd like to say, please let us know now. I will be signing off in a wee while. Just waiting for Broggy to come back. As I say, I've been on the go for a few hours. So as I say, you know, this is the point. If you've got something you want to say, here's your chance, say it. If you want to talk to other people, you talk to them. That's your option. You know, if you want to subscribe, subscribe. If you want to leave us a comment, we'll get there. Sounds to me like this 24-hour marathon might well come off. It could be fun. It could be fun. Broggy's come back, so I think basically if we draw a line under this for today, we'll come back next Friday.
Well, what I'm thinking about for the next live stream is possibly on Monday. I may not schedule it, but just do an impromptu live stream test outside, just past the porch, and see if we can't get a signal outside.
Oh, well.
And we'll put some shield and a sword and wear a helmet each. And perhaps we could do a little bit of fighting.
He's determined to put Duff up a pensioner, isn't he?
Well, there's any chance I get. And then the next scheduled live stream will be a week Friday. And what subject would you like to talk about, Egil?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Sutton Who and the Anglo-Saxons?
Yeah, that'll do. I'll hand this over to Broggy. Okay, well.
Just before you do go, I think you have managed now to do your longest live stream.
How long?
So this is 3 hours, about 40 minutes will be. So I think you've either just smashed it or you're just about to. So you're very close, or you're just slightly shy.
Well, I think people have had enough at the moment because there's no comments coming in now.
We've still got 6 people watching, but like I said, you do need interaction in a live stream. You can't just sit there talking without people commenting.
Well,
so, but this will be published afterwards.
Okay. Well, anyway, ladies, gentlemen, jelly spoons, thank you very much for putting up with me. I've enjoyed your comments, and let's make friends, and the next one we'll carry on our conversation.
Bonus video out tomorrow.
The bonus video is out tomorrow. He's determined to keep me online. That
was very Benidorm, that was.
Well, right. Well, anyway, Benidorm or not, I'm off. I've got to get dressed and I've got to go home and I've got to cook my dinner. So, okay. You take care. Stay groovy. And as I've said, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe. leave us comments. We'll get back to you. And who knows? We'll see how it goes. So be happy and make the world a happy place. Bye now. Bye.
Stay sat a second. No.
Do you want to come in front?
No, there we go.